Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with gym rats basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses the long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
I just want to be the best in basketball, so I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me, so I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
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 I belong here.
has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
In 4 years, this could be you.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Our football team haven't won a sectional title in 32 years.
There's no team better than us if we just do our job.
Nobody really want to lose no more.
All you want is greatness. You want me 1, 2, 3?
This is the game that's been on my calendar all year.
We gonna need fan discipline.
We a whole different Northside team.
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Yo, what's going on? It's Antoine Taylor with Matrix QB. I'm so excited to announce our new book, The Quarterback Tool Shed, strictly designed to help you slow the game down so that you can speed up. Whether you're a parent, a coach, or a player, it's jam-packed with information. We're going to help you slow the game down by giving you a mental processor so that you can speed up. This resource has all the things you need, from reading the defense, passing mechanics, pre-snap filters, coverage ID, and much, much more. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see you on the inside.
Welcome in, everybody. Kendallville, Indiana. This is sectional number 19, East Noble. 5-5 record, hosting the Leo Lions. Lions head coach Jason Dorfler, in his first year at the school, his 9th year overall, has a 30-61 overall record for Coach Dorfler. Last week was a big win for him over Southside. Leo defeating the Archers 26-12 for Coach Dorfler. That is just his second career postseason win, his last one coming in 2019 with Northrop. For East Noble, coming off a big win at Angola, the Knights taking that game 46-22. Head coach Luke Amstutz, 90-33 in his 11th year at East Noble. And he's got 116 wins to just 48 losses, 15 years overall. Of course, before East Noble, he was at Angola, and it was a special game last week as Angola came out in their black uniforms in honor of the death of their students from 2010. My name is Jeff Mahoney with Summit City Sports. We have Joe Walburn and Jake Smith up here in the booth. And guys, I know we got excited last week when we kind of looked at the schedule. We saw which teams won, and we saw this game, and it was just about a year to the day. It's a year and a week to the day when Leo came from behind and got that victory over the Knights in the first round of sectionals. You know, this series is tied at 3-3 with Leo taking the last 3 W's. It's been one of the best rivalries in Northeast Indiana in the 2-6-0. And boy, couldn't be more excited to do this game, to bring it to the fans throughout Indiana and beyond, because this right here is going to be a dogfight. We've been talking about it all week. And couldn't be more happy to be here. Joe, what do you think about this one? You know, you got 2 teams that can run the rock, and now under Coach Dorfler, Leo, they're starting to throw it up a little bit. But I'm going to tell you what, they're going to have to be careful with the football, because last week in that game against Snyder, their quarterback, Kyler Decker, had 3 touchdown passes. He also had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and that's the key tonight for me, guys, is this playoff football, Jake. This is all about who can run the football and who can protect the football. And you talked about it with Leo on the offensive side. They have 18 turnovers this year, guys, so almost 2 turnovers a game. So Jeff's right. They're averaging almost 200 yards a game of rushing, so they have gotten it done. Great offensive line up front with the 2 Jacobs and Stewart and Wirtz and Butler. So they go about 235 up front, so they can run the football. But the key tonight for them offensively is they need to protect the ball and get some efficiency out of that quarterback position with Kyler Decker. But what they're really going to hang their hat on tonight, Jake, is that defense. And you look at it last week, 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery against my Archers. So they were just dominant. And that's really what Johnny Z's, his trademark has been this year. He's going to give you a defense that's stout and also bring an awful lot of pressure. When you look at these defensive ends, Jake, we talk about how great Brock Schott's been. Aiden Furnish has been dominant, too. Those 2 defensive ends have combined for 80 tackles, 25 tackles for a loss, and 14.5 sacks. And this Johnny Z defense has forced 30 takeaways, my friend.
Yeah, it's incredible. And, this is just a storied rivalry that, the IHSAA every year, is looking for these types of games where it's not only competitive, but there's a lot of brotherly love out there on the field. And
yes,
just the memories from last season, no matter what team won or who came away with the win, you'd see a lot of players out at the middle of the field, praying together, being together, crying together about these situations. And win, lose, or draw, it's win or go home football now, but there's a lot of respect between these 2 programs, a lot of respect between the coaches, and you couldn't ask for a better, round 2 of the sectionals to start off than between these 2 teams right here. And Jeff nailed it. We're a year and a week to the day from the last time we saw some Jackson Barber magic out there, and maybe we'll see something like that again tonight, guys.
Absolutely. It was 11 years ago when Angola wore black uniforms to honor the lives of Alex Bauer, Riley Zimmer, and Coach Amstutz was the coach for Angola at the time.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And that was a very sentimental moment.
Sure.
And they kind of replicated that last week. Now, Angola went into the game kind of beaten up with Tyler Call and Tagliafieri, not exactly at 100%. And I'm telling you what, East Noble ran the rock against Angola last week. 294 yards rushing, led by Michael Mosley, the junior. And Mosley, he's kind of earned that starting running back position, if you will, that starting fullback position, in this Amstutz offense. Last week, 23 carries, 216 yards, 9.4 yards per carry with 4 touchdowns. Now, Tyson Reinbold, he's been awesome all year for the Knights. He's actually the leading rusher on the season with 791 yards rushing, averaging 5.4 per carry with 6 touchdowns. Last week he had a touchdown, and Dylan Krell also had a touchdown. But I thought it was interesting when Coach Amstutz named the starters this week. He put Logan Hatton, a sophomore, with 1 reception for 7 yards, and Keegan Corbin, a junior, 6'4", 185. Now, doesn't that sound familiar when you think about Rowan Zalman from a year ago?
Oh, yeah.
But Corbin comes in with 21 receptions for 227 yards. Guys, Coach Amstutz, I don't think he's been too happy with the play of his receivers this year. And if you don't get it done, he's going to plug the next man in. Somebody's got to step up for the Knights and help out their junior quarterback, Xander Brazel. Now, Brazel comes in, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a QB rating of 74.7, okay? 1,072 yards on the season. I think we all know that he's a better quarterback than that.
Yes.
And sooner or later, these wide receivers are going to have to step up and help him out. And tonight's going to have to be the night if they're going to beat these Lions. Now, Lions, they do come in ranked number 14 in the coaches poll in Class 4A. I love the coaches poll, always over the media, because what do us media guys know?
What do we know?
Those coaches know. But I'm telling you what, it's all about the passing game for East Noble tonight. They're going to have to step up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I've been probably one of the most critical people of Xander Brazel, and not because I dislike him as a player. I think he's phenomenal. Where is that upside? And the more we start to watch these games and as the season's gone on, I never like to make an excuse for a quarterback because he is your signal caller, and if you would ask Brazel, he would take a lot of this on the shoulders, but the receivers have to step up.
Yes.
And especially in Amstutz' offense, when you're talking about potentially the two best offensive minds, definitely in the NE8, if not two of the best in Northeast Indiana that are out here tonight as your offensive play callers. He is going to put Brazel in situations to succeed, and if it has not happened yet, then some of the blame has to start to be dished out to the receivers, and you love to see him mix it up. And one comment, too, going back to the running backs real quick, Jeff, that I'd like to make. I had made a comment with our broadcast that we had done earlier in the season, in the regular season matchup at this, and I love Reinbold as far as his tenacity and physicality, but in this offense it just felt like he didn't really mesh and gel as well with the O-line. So to see Mosley get the start here, this will kind of blow your mind that Mosley comes in at 6'1", 210, where Reinbold's 5'10", 195, but Mosley is a little bit bigger back. Seems to me to show a little bit more athleticism and work better in this spread-style inside zone run system that they run here at East Noble, and I'm excited to see how he does tonight. That could be an X factor in this game and really bring it to a much tighter contest than we saw last time.
And I think that's important because when you look at it, I agree with Jeff. I think these receivers need to get involved in this game early. You've got a 6'4", 185-pound split in Keegan Corbin. I'm going to try to throw the ball a little bit on first down, break some tendencies. I felt like last week in the second half when I watched the tape, I felt like, Coach Amstutz has struggled all season long with a lot of sophomores and the growth pains. I felt like last week in the second half it all kind of came together for East Noble, and I'm telling you, that right side of that line with the senior Easton Brown, 5'11", 270, and that right tackle, Zach Leidy, 6'3", 270, who I believe is a MAC kid. I think Northern Illinois or I think Miami of Ohio. I think a MAC school will come in, Jake. But I think you can run behind that right side of the line, which they really just mashed Angola with in the second half. But I think if you can get Brazel going maybe on some first down passes, I think you got a dynamic player in Dylan Krill out there, 5'9", 185. He has 8 touchdowns total. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. So you're starting to see some of these sophomores grow up for East Noble, and you got weapons, and you got some size up front. So I think East Noble's starting to put it together. But I agree with you. When you have a big, powerful run game, maybe you can break some tendencies and throw the ball a little bit on first down, maybe some careful passes on first down to kind of open Leo up.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if we're going to see as much motion and as much misdirection as we saw a year ago in that classic game. And you're right, Joe. Last week, East Noble, they put it together in the second half.
They did.
East Noble outrushed Angola 195-37 in the second half of that game.
I was watching the tape, Jeff, and I thought to myself, boy, I would have loved to have known what was said in the locker room at halftime. Because whatever Coach Amstutz said, Jeff, at halftime, it looked like a different team. And I felt like for the first time this year, guys, East Noble was in sync. They were dominant. They had a purpose and just took it to Angola in the second half.
Boy, when you're talking about Leo, what Coach Dorfler has been able to do, really kind of righting the ship. I mean, opening up the season, you lose to Kokomo. A lot of people are like, oh, man, can we get Coach Souter back over here? This is awful.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the fact that they graduated some of the finest players in northern Indiana a year ago.
Absolutely.
When you think about Landon Livingston, and you think about DJ Allen over at Rutgers, Livingston over at West Virginia.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, their tailback there, Sharon.
Love him, man. Davidson. Already a couple touchdowns on the season, too, Jeff.
Absolutely. But, last week it was Brett Fuller stepping up for him with 157 yards rushing and a touchdown. Leading him on the season is Max Loeffler, who became the school's single-game leading rusher. And I believe that was in week number 9 when he did that against DeKalb.
Yes.
Loeffler has 1,151 yards on the season, 7.4 average, 11 touchdowns. So these guys have a number of players that can step up. This has always been kind of a smash-mouth game. And I think both coaches are going to make the other beat them through the air. Now, can Kyler Decker and can the junior signal caller, Xander Brazel, step up? I think that's going to be the question in this one. Now, last time out at Leo, it was the Lions winning it 28-21. Jake, you covered that game.
We did.
Leo was up 13-7 at the break. They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter for that victory. Kyler Decker was 7 of 9 passing for 112 yards with a touchdown. Brock Shaw had 3 receptions to lead the team with 44 yards receiving. Max Loeffler, 15 carries for 101 yards with a touchdown. Fuller had 72 yards rushing and a touchdown, and Camden Zeisloff had a rushing touchdown. Looking at East Noble, Brazel was 10 of 17 for 111 yards with 1 touchdown and an interception. Tyson Reinbold was the only player for East Noble to have double-digit carries. He had 28 carries for 143 yards, averaging 5.1 per with a touchdown. Mosley had 8 carries for 17 yards, only averaging 2.1 per carry with 1 touchdown. So it's going to be really interesting in this one. Mosley, a junior, feels like, you know how it is sometimes. It's your senior year, right before your senior year, Joe, when you spend some extra time in the weight room. Maybe spend some extra time running the hills or doing what you have to do in the summer. And it might take a sophomore or junior a little bit longer to develop in a season. But Michael Mosley has most definitely done that for Coach Amstutz. And he's one of these young guys like you were talking about. Joe, what'd you say? 8 of the 22 starters are sophomores for East Noble?
Yes.
So one of these guys have really answered the call for Coach Amstutz. Because Coach Amstutz has had a ton of success, especially here at East Noble. East Noble comes in 5 sectional titles, the last 2 coming in 2019 and 2020. They won a regional in 2019. They have 3 overall. Won a semi-state in 2019. Of course, lost that championship game 21-3 against Evansville Memorial. So this is a program that's had a lot of success, especially in the NE8. And Coach Amstutz is not messing around anymore. And he's got the young kids that can get it done. And you're going to see some young kid magic tonight.
Yeah, you are. You got a lot of young kids for East Noble. And, you know, you're kind of living those sophomore pains we talked about. And on defensive, it's interesting because they want to play a 3-5-3. Now, my concern with that, Jake, is when you look at them defensively, they only have 5 sacks on the season. So you're not getting a lot of pressure. And I think a big stat for you guys to keep in mind, they only have 20 total tackles for a loss. So they're only having 2 tackles for a loss a game and no sacks. So what that tells me is they're not getting the penetration. They're not playing in the backfield. And that would be my concern tonight for my defense if I'm Coach Amstutz. Now, I got some dogs on defense. Again, I like Krill. I like Lyons. Connor Lyons has 89 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. I like the backers. I think Bentley, the senior, 5'9", 190, he's a sheepdog. You know, so they got some dogs on defense. But my concern with this 3-5-3 is just the lack of penetration, the lack of plays in the defensive backfield, and I think that could also put some pressure on your offense, Jake.
Yeah, you're right. You know, going back to that earlier in-season matchup with these guys, really it could have been a blowout early. And what happened was right before halftime, Leo had shown this really, really tight end screen, and they ran it earlier on with Schott, and it was fantastic. Well, Schott got dinged up, had to go to the sideline, and the second tight end was in, caught that pass and fumbled it. They would have went up 3 scores driving down the field the way they were. East Noble gets the ball back with a couple minutes left and are able to make the adjustments and drive down and make it a 1-score game at the half. I really felt like Leo handled that game. The score was a little bit more slanted than what it showed. But you got to tip your cap to both of these guys. For Coach Dorfler coming into this thing as being a spread perfectionist from like the Mike Leach air raid style of thought and how he used to coach and how he's adapted to some of the intermixing of the run game here. Yeah. And then obviously Coach Amstutz, even on a season loaded with underclassmen, he's still going to put you in a dogfight. He's still going to have his kids ready to play. And I think one of the keys that he's going to bring out here, I love seeing the mix-up of these wide receivers like we talked about earlier, because he loves to run orbit motion, and for viewers at home that don't understand that, it's just a really simple concept where you bring a running back or receiver back and make a loop and then run back out of the backfield again. And when you do that, it just opens up the easiest little check down screens and swing passes, and it works like a wide run. So instead of pitching a sweep or something old school, you quickly get the ball into your playmaker's hands out of that orbit motion. And I would love to see that tonight to try to get some of these defensive ends and outside linebackers at bay for Leo, because when you're going against somebody like a Brock Schott and an Aiden Furnish, you want to freeze those guys as much as you can.
I'll tell you what, Jake. Somebody's going to pick up Jake Smith as a head coach.
It's just brilliant.
They're going to love it.
They're going to love it. And you know what else about Jake Smith is? What did Jake Smith say before the season? I was kind of running my mouth about Leo. He says, Joe, you have to understand, as an offensive coach, it's going to take some time for them to adjust to the whole style change. And he was absolutely right. I mean, so that's been an adjustment to come in and run a whole different offense. And Leo had a lot of injuries this year. Now, I think we're going to see if we're going to see Lucas Sharon tonight. But for the most part, we got Ethan Crawford back. They got some of their dogs back. And I like how they put Crawford at that strong safety position because I can play a 4-3, but I can morph into a 4-4. Crawford's vocal. He's dominant. He's a leader. Tremendous high school football player. So that gives you some options. But Jeff, I'm telling you, Jake gave me a little bit of a lecture about how long it takes to change a scheme, and that's really been true for Leo this year. And I think coming through, being 7-3, Leo's losses are to a 9-1 Kokomo team, a 9-1 Norwell team, and a 9-1 Columbia City team. Their three losses
pretty good.
Their three losses are teams are 27-3, but it has taken some time with that scheme, and it'll be interesting to see what that scheme, how much farther along they've come with that offense tonight, Jeff.
Yeah, and a lot, and deservedly so, has been made of Leo and the class that they graduated from a year ago. And when you look at East Noble, they're averaging 29.7 points per game, but they're giving up 28.2 points per game.
Yes.
Joe, let's not forget the seniors that East Noble had last year.
Oh, man.
Defensive end, Trace Holiday, 6'2",
awesome.
215.
Dog.
Tristan Ward. Remember Bryce Charles?
Dog.
Bryce Charles could lift the weight room, man. He was one of those 1,400-pound guys, squat, bench, and power clean. They had guys like Kanan Carrico.
Dog.
I mean, guys all over the place. Nolan Rhodes, Aiden Sprague, Rowan Zalman, Dalton Stinson, Nick Munson.
Dog.
I mean, these are serious players. And to your point, Jake, I was listening to one of my favorite shows, the Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with LeVar Arrington and Brady Quinn. And Brady Quinn said, when you come in and you install a new offense, it's like learning a new language. Mm-hmm. So it is going to take time. And, with Coach Amstutz and graduating all those dogs, I mean, I would argue that East Noble graduated more than what Leo did from a year ago. It's just that Leo had some higher-name guys. Now, Rowan Zalman's at Miami of Ohio, right?
Yeah.
But Landon Livingston and DJ Allen, I mean, that speaks for itself. Those Power 5 guys. But, I love this matchup here. I know Coach Amstutz is going to have these guys playing older than what they are.
Yes.
We're here in Kendallville. This crowd is going to be absolutely rocking. This is one of the best places in Indiana to watch a football game. You think about Spooler Stadium when they host Bishop Dwenger.
Yes.
Most lately, you think about Snyder and Northside to open the season. You think about the rivalry matchup of Carroll and Homestead, Bishop Luers, Bishop Dwenger. I mean, there are some great matchups in this area. But right here in Kendallville, this game, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, this place starts getting rowdy, and you hear these stadium bleachers pounding, and lights going off, and people going nuts, and the cowbells everywhere, the horns, and I mean, they throw it down, and it's going to get loud, it's going to get proud and rowdy, and we're excited. One more comment that I did want to make, talking defensively, that just kind of popped into my head as I started thinking about some of these players I've seen. two guys that I really enjoy watching on the Leo defensive side of the ball that I think are going to be keys to tonight is a guy I like to call Cam the Weapon Zeisloff.
Oh, yes.
Definitely a MAC kid. He's had an eye for the football this year.
Player.
6 interceptions, and he's a two-way player, but I like him more defensively in that rover position on the back end of just having a nose for the football. But then a guy that maybe doesn't get talked about as much, but is an absolute unit, is Landon Hepner. And I've watched Hepner a lot this year.
Right.
And in the East Noble contest, they had a chance to come down and tie that game late early on, and I think it was week 5. They took 3 shots to the end zone, all 3 against Hepner, and all 3 times he shut them down.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Hepner as a sophomore, if you said, Joe, who is the best corner in the sophomore class in the 260, I would say Landon Hepner. I think you make a great point there. I think he did a good job on Showtime Fuller.
He did.
And, 6 feet, 170, right? Jeff always talks about he likes those long corners. Talking to Coach Z, he's the fastest kid on the team and maybe the most athletic kid. So I agree with you. He's a tremendous prospect because we talk so much about Furnish and Shot, and we love the big D tackles, Wirtz and Roberts, and I love the backers, Bacon, Holcomb, Mons, just a great core of backers. But I agree with you with Landon Hepner. Landon Hepner is a prospect, and I'm watching because I think he also, Jake, will be able to play some MAC ball too. So they got some strength. You got Hepner at corner, you got Leffler at corner, you got Zeisloff and Crawford in the back end. So Coach Z's multiple with this defense, and I think he's going to be able to bring some pressure. And I think with East Noble tonight, Jeff, this is one of those games you got to look at risk versus reward. Do I break some tendencies on first down? I know I've got this big offensive line, but can I use that orbit motion or do some different things and move some pieces around the formation? Because Leo's got some Rottweilers on defense, and I think you better come out here and be able to maybe loosen them up. And I think Brazel needs to be productive throwing the ball early on, Jeff.
Boy, and you're right, East Noble's offensive line averaging 256 a man.
Big
That's
boys.
One of the bigger offensive lines. I think Northside might be one of the only bigger offensive lines, Joe, that we've seen all season. But when you think about offensive linemen, you got to point to Colin Butler and Truman Wirtz first for Leo.
Absolutely.
And they've leaned on those guys, and those guys can continue to answer the call.
And what's interesting about both these teams, I'll let you comment on this then, Jake, is both teams have a sophomore tight end that are just dynamic football players. I mean, we talked about, I think Shot's going to make his money in a Power 5 playing H-back or tight end. I think he gets about 15, 20 pounds on him, Jake, because we have a history in the 260 of putting great tight ends out. I think he's the next one. But don't sleep on Alex Brennan for East Noble. 6'1", 205. He comes in. He's a kid that I believe needs more touches. I think that he already has established himself. Sherwood, when we had the interview with Sherwood Haydock, he talked about how some kids just stick to kids as far as blocking. That's Alex Brennan. But I would use him a little bit tonight, Jake, and get him involved in my offense.
Yeah, I agree. And, you talk to any good wide receivers coach or anybody that teaches and coaches pass-catching tight ends, and they always say, hey, you earn your catches by giving me good blocks.
Yes.
And right there is a kid, Alex Brennan, that earns, like you said, he deserves some more touches because he's a selfless, tough kid, down blocking and pulling outside and making himself available in some of those blocking schemes with that inside zone run. And, great player, absolutely. One thing that I've got my fingers crossed for to happen tonight is for Jeff specifically. I know he is a huge Al Capone VZ fan. He loves seeing that. He loves seeing that jackhammer style, just fullback power. I'm hoping to see a 4th and short where Aiden Mons gets to come on because he's the NE8 version of VZ, man. So hopefully we get to see some of that tonight.
But let me ask you this quickly, Jeff. Power rushing attacks on both sides, okay? But young, dynamic tight ends. Can you run some early play action? Can you use these tight ends maybe down the seam and work on that a little bit, Jeff?
Yeah, the tight end drag, right, Joe?
Absolutely.
You pull those linebackers up. You continue to bang with big guys like Mons, and then the stable of running backs that East Noble brings with them. I mean, Mosley goes 205.
Yeah, he's big and strong and
Reinbold's 5'9", 195.
Yeah, difficult guys.
That's a guy that can get low, can get underneath your shoulder pads. That's tough to deal with right there. You got that tight end drag or then that seam. if they bring that safety up to help on the run, Joe. You're absolutely right. And Brock Schott, man, how many catches of over 40 yards has he had this year? We've seen multiple big plays by the sophomore tight end. As a matter of fact, did he not have a visit to Miami of Ohio lately?
I feel like that's the case. I know we talked about some of the recruiting stuff earlier on, and Joe mentioned it. Our cover media guy Zach Leidy tonight had a visit to NIU, to Northern Illinois. I think you're right about the Miami of Ohio. I know Colin Butler's being courted a little bit. There's, we've probably got at least half a dozen D1 caliber prospects on the field tonight that are being courted and looked at by different schools, especially in the MAC. And, man, that's exciting, especially like we talked about the crop of players on both sides that left last year going to West Virginia, Rutgers, Miami of Ohio, and places like that. There's a ton of kids here tonight, NE8 kids that are going to show out and really looking in the recruiting as the season ends.
Yeah, guys, and, Leo, since the beginning of the season, they've made a commitment to return guys like Max Loeffler and Camden Zeisloff. Both those guys lead the team with 8 KORs and 6 kickoff returns, respectfully. Loeffler averaging 19.3, Zeisloff at 22. Zeisloff is their main punt return guy.
Dynamic.
I do believe that in this game, Leo has an edge in the special teams. You look at Jake Patton, who was their kicker a year ago.
Yes.
Alex Sprague is now the kicker. He's a sophomore, imagine that, at East Noble. 0 field goals on the season. Now, he's done well, though, converting 34 of 35 PATs. I was pretty shocked to see the 0 field goals. Kind of speaks well to, hey, you're scoring touchdowns and not field goals. But in the same sense, East Noble does come in with that 5-5 record, 3-4 in the NE8. They finished 5th in the NE8, which just sounds crazy to say. Ever since they formed that conference in 2015, it's either been Leo or East Noble. Sprinkle a little bit of New Haven in there, winning that thing. Mm-hmm. Was a shift of power, if you will. Brett Fox at Columbia City. Hats off to Brett Fox. Man, who are you going to take as the coach of the year in the conference, him or Coach Gerber over at Norwell? Guess you have to give it to Fox for the head-to-head matchup. But what a fun year in the NE8. Once again, East Noble finishing 5th. Sounds a little crazy to say. Leo finishing 3rd. When you think about the NE8 and how things have transpired, that's a great first season here for Coach Dorfler, especially considering how much they lost a year ago. Jackson Barber's getting playing time now as a slot receiver. Is that right, up in Iowa?
Yes, Jackson Barber is actually in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin.
He's a slot receiver at the university. Maybe Mike can correct me on this, but I think it is the University of LaSalle.
Yeah. Sounds right.
The Vikings, yes.
I'm not surprised. The kid was a winner.
Yeah,
that last drive in this game last year, to kind of go back on that.
Caden Miller.
How he was like, he morphed into Steve Young, took him down the field. I mean, the kid was just money when he had to be. Tremendous athlete, tremendous kid. And I must say, one of my all-time favorite high school quarterbacks, because he only got to throw the ball 3 or 4 times a game, but when he did, Jake, he was always on it. I mean, I couldn't have done that. So I'm not surprised that he's starting as a freshman up there at a school in Wisconsin. The kid was just a winner, and they've had so many great kids and that have come back that are winners, and I think that's what's really fueled Leo's success over the years, Jake.
I'm correcting myself here. Lawrence football, the Lawrence University Vikings.
Yeah, that sounds right.
#1 academic institution in Wisconsin with 16 NWC championships.
Wow, #1 academic.
Yeah. All-American.
And you know what?
Great place for him to be.
And you know what? You know what Jackson's going to end up being? Jackson's the kind of kid that goes out and ends up running a Fortune 500 company. He's just that kind of kid, man. But those are the kids that Leo has had, Jeff. Yeah. And you talk about the situational football, Jeff, how important it is to be able to think your way through some of these games. We know Leo's talented, but that situational football has really been good. I think Jason's done a solid job out here. I'm really excited about Coach Z. I think Johnny Zolnick is maybe the next up-and-coming big-time head coach in this area. I think Johnny's fantastic with his defense. I mean, to force 30 turnovers. Where would Leo be this year, Jeff, without those 30 turnovers that defense has forced?
I'll tell you what, you're talking about Coach Zolnick. Could you not see him maybe at a place like New Haven or something like that in the future.
Yeah. He's got swag too, man.
Going back to Jackson Barber, he entered last year's game against East Noble with 11 passing attempts on the season.
And he could do it anytime they called for it. I mean, anytime they called for it, he could do it. And that's hard, man, to run offense the whole game and not throw the ball. I always had to get into a rhythm. Like the first drive, guys, I was always like, Coach is like, you all right? I just got to get my rhythm going. I could not imagine throwing a pass or two a game, Jeff.
Right. So in that game, he goes 8 for 10, 77 yards with that huge touchdown to Caden Miller. Caden Miller was absolutely clutch in that game, too, at the big kickoff return. But, I mean, that just kind of speaks to the kid's character right there.
Winner.
You know, all season long, because you know you can throw the ball.
Yep.
You got Rylan Crawford, who's over at Illinois State balling. So you know you can throw the ball, but you do what you have to do for the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, last year they go undefeated, win the NE8, so running the rock was working for them. 3 yards off the line of scrimmage with that power T, as you like to talk about or refer to, Jake. But great kid, and, you know, the program's moved on. They're learning a new scheme, and it's a scheme that I know, Jake, you have said you just absolutely love and feel like this is going to be, I don't want to say the team of the future, but one of the offenses of the future in the 260.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeff. And I think that this right here, this rivalry, not only was fantastic under Coach Sauter, but I think now it's like a passing of the torch with, in my opinion, two of the best spread-style offensive minds in this area that are fighting each other in this conference. And it's just seeing the progression, and not to get too much into the scheme side of it for all the viewers at home, but to see the progression of that. This is an exciting style of offense from both sides to run, but not only to run, but for the players to play and the fans to watch. You know, when you watch the NFL, it's like, yeah, you like to see, you know, a Marshawn Lynch or a Frank Gore, whoever your favorite running back is, run here or there. But what is the reason that you turn on the TV on Sundays? It's because you want to see Peyton Manning throwing for 450 yards, or Aaron Rodgers, on 3rd and 18, and he runs outside and throws it 60 yards down the field to Devontae Adams. Whoever your team is, you love to see the pass. And the league has developed that, and it's trickled down into college and now into high school. And can you even imagine in Northeast Indiana, where we get snow sometimes in October and sometimes it's 90 degrees in November, and these guys are gonna be able to throw the football? It's incredible.
I'll tell you what, Jake, you're right. And boy, Devontae Adams, that didn't work out for anybody.
No, not at all. Jeez. Unbelievable.
Got to get the money right. That's the problem with the pro game is the money dominates the contracts, and it's too bad because Rodgers got paid so much money that you don't have money for other guys. But I agree with you as far as here, and I also want to get back to the game in the trenches. You talk about sheepdogs, baby, and really – it is. We're seeing these spread offenses, but when I think of county ball, I think of sheepdogs. And who's gonna plug those gaps? Who's gonna make those plays? I mean, look at this East Noble offensive line. I love Easton Brown, the right guard. That right tackle, Zach Lady, he's gonna get after it. You look at Leo, Colin Butler, man. We got some dogs in this game, so they're gonna spray each other out. But it comes down to who can get that block or who can move somebody in the trenches. And when I walked up tonight, I could hear, I think that music in the East Noble locker room, I think that stereo system was on full tilt. And I think that East Noble is going to come out on full tilt. And this is a fantastic game. And tell you what, you've got to be tough. You've got to win in the trenches to win these big playoff games in Northern Indiana.
Boy, Joe, I hear you talking about that cranking the music,
Turn it up, baby.
Of course, at Dwenger, we didn't have music in the locker room, but
you guys just snapped your helmets. Did you hear him talk last night around the fort?
Man,
they said, Dwenger showed up a minute before the kickoff. Courtney Davis was fantastic. He's like, Dwenger shows up a minute before kickoff. We've warmed up for an hour. And these guys just roll in and jump off the bus and get in the kickoff line.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Ready to go.
That was how Jeff and them did. They snapped those helmets, and it was on.
Well,
now, at Southside, we played a little music. We danced a little bit, barked a little bit, rode the buses over. But Jeff and them, they snapped the helmets, and it was on, wasn't it, Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, after practice, Jake, we'd go to the garage and we'd pull the cars in and we'd hook up the new 6x9s and we'd get the amplifiers and we'd tweak the amplifiers.
Let's go, baby.
We'd put the Rob Zombie in the stereo.
Let's go, man.
We'd crank that thing as loud as it could go and we'd drive to the school. But one thing you got to remember about Dwenger is every game was an away game. We never had a home stadium.
And that's what's interesting. People forget about that. Snyder always has to get on the buses. When I played at South, we bust out to Wayne to play. So it's neat to come out to some of these venues now, Jeff, after all these years, and see some of these home field advantages that some of these teams have, Jake.
Hey, guys, the winner of this game will play the winner of Columbia City. They're hosting DeKalb today. Columbia City ranked number 9 in the media poll, number 9 in the coaches poll. Earlier this year, the Eagles traveled to DeKalb, won it 42-7. Do the Barons have a shot in this one?
No.
No.
I'm going to be polite about it, and I'm going to, because I don't want to come off like a homer, because there's a way they can win, yes. Now, a lot of things have to go their way, and the first thing is they just have to sell out to the run because their defense has struggled so much this year.
So what do you play? I mean, you know how great you are at quarterback. We love Irk, and I think you were right last night around the 4. I think we could almost argue Irk could be maybe the best quarterback in the northern part of Indiana, him or maybe Bodie.
Yes.
And, I mean, no disrespect to Luke or Jimmy Football, but I agree with you. What do you play if you're DeKalb on defense? You've been deficient all season long. Here comes probably this area's second best offensive line, 265 across, athletic. They're going to play up tempo.
Yes.
How many bodies do you need, Jake, and what do you play on defense?
I mean, legitimately, I'm to the point of saying that I want 5 or 6 down linemen spread in the widest possible splits that I can get.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some guys in 9 technique outside shade of the tight end. I'm going to have
Maybe
just a platoon of linebackers and just one rover over the top, and that's it. It's like, okay, if it's Fuller or it's
6'3" almost.
Yep.
If it's 6'3", and maybe put your best corner on Showtime, have a rover over the top, and maybe on first and second down, roll the rover up and gamble, and maybe just a 6'3".
I'd watch all the film I could, and they can run Gorey and Arntz inside, and then they've got Getz and Sievers they can go outside. So I'm going to say, okay, I've got to shut down the outside. Okay, I'm not getting beat on the jet. I'm not getting beat on the lead or the sweep to the outside. I'm just not doing it. So I'm going to push it back inside and just hope that my run support is strong enough to take down Gorey and Arntz. I mean, I don't realistically think it is for him, but that's the only shot they have. Yeah. Because offensively, I think that offensively DeKalb can score points. I think with Wiley back, with Overbay being as great as he is, Montoya, and Irk can deliver the ball.
He's fantastic.
Pagan Irk is my favorite quarterback prospect in the NE8, and again, I think he's in that top 5 positioning in Northeast Indiana.
I agree.
He's phenomenal. He's going to be a great prospect for a college. He's getting looks, so he can deliver the football. And now, last week they found something which is completely unlike DeKalb. They ran the football a little bit with Hinkle, and so when you're running spread concepts, it really reminds you of stuff like you're going to see here tonight. You have to run inside zone when you're in the spread.
Yeah.
So you got to, if you are going to use spread principles and you're going to throw the ball on a lot of Y sail, Y cross, vertical routes, things of that nature, you also have to at least be able to grind some clock and try to choose some of those second and third and short situations with a running game. So maybe they'd start to run a little bit tonight on Columbia City, grind a little bit more clock, keep it within a score or two, and keep it respectable in the second half, and maybe catch a little bit of a miracle. But the problem you have with Columbia City, and not coming off like a homer, this is just me spitting statistics and data, and what I've seen with my own eyes this year is they are the toughest 4-phase football team right now. And it's not just defense, it's not just offense. The special teams is in my opinion, the best special teams unit in the NE8. Urban, the kicker, their punt game with Piper has been phenomenal. Their kick coverage has been epic. They've had 3 onside kick recoveries in 1 game against New Haven. But then the fourth facet I always talk about is coaching. And Coach Fox has worked with his assistants this offseason, and they finally got full alignment and buy-in to what they're doing. It's the second year they're running the flexbone offense. Everybody's bought in. They're playing hard for each other. It's going to be an uphill battle for DeKalb, but nothing's impossible in sectionals. Nothing's impossible.
That's right, and I think DeKalb's going to have to sustain some drives.
Yes.
Because, man, I think the thing we were most taken aback with, at least I was last week, was how quick with that power rushing attack Columbia City could go down the field. And that last 74 yards in a minute and 20 and not even throwing the ball once. I was really taken aback by that. And really, it seems like Columbia City, when you look at it, too, they are battle-tested. I mean, the big sheepdog bowl for the pitchfork against Leo, they come through that. They suck it up, win the fourth quarter against Norwell. Then they get probably the best Wayne punch I've seen Wayne throw in about 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
They work through that. So I think at some point you feel like, man, you know what? It's our year. The football gods are with us. And so I think Columbia City is going to continue. And I agree. I think the only thing that I would want to see Columbia City improve on as they go deeper into the playoffs, I think Piper's got to stand in that pocket and deliver the ball a little bit better. He's a good quarterback, big, strong kid, good arm, but they're going to need to be able at times, as they get deeper into playoffs, Jake, be able to throw that ball a little bit better.
You're absolutely right about that, Joe, and I agree. I love Colton Piper. I think he's galvanized this team. And I was a huge Greg Bolt fan, but Colton just has a different swag to him. He doesn't let the game get too big for him.
No.
But I agree. When you've got somebody like Stratton Fuller on the boundary that can run any type of crossing route or any type of deep vertical threat, you've got to be able to step into those throws a little bit. And I'm sure they're working with him. I'm sure he's watching the tape.
Sure.
And that's going to be the difference of, can Columbia City not only win a sectional, can they go on a run maybe and pull an upset in a regional or semi-state game? There's going to be situations where Piper's got to step in and deliver that football, and he's got to get those feet set, get that strength, as you know, Joe, as being a quarterback, and deliver a good ball, and I think he's going to be able to do so.
And you look across the area and some of the other big playoff games, when you look at 6A, our conference champion, the Summit Athletic Conference, Carroll, 9-0, rolls into Penn tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see how that game goes, because I felt really good about Carroll's chances, but with Dylan Bennett not playing tonight, I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on that 3-4, Jake. I've never been a fan of a three-man front, but if you're going to play a three-man front, you better be good at nose, and you better have a Rottweiler in the middle. So they're not going to have Bennett tonight. So if I'm Penn, boy, I would run right at that defense. It's going to be interesting because Penn has 2 losses, but one's to Cathedral, which was a dogfight.
Yes.
And then, St. Exile, Cincinnati. So Penn's losses are fantastic losses. So I'm interested to see. We know how good Jimmy football is, but what are your thoughts with that? Do you think that's something where Carroll just slides somebody else in the lineup and continues on? Or do you think that could be something they have to hide, or it could be an issue for them, Jake?
Man, you nailed it right there. I think that – I'm not going to say that I think that could be their Achilles heel in the Penn game. However, I will say I agree with your talk about the three-man front. Carroll does it probably better than anybody. They're very athletic, especially at outside backer, which helps, and they will shade those guys down from time to time. But Bennett, in my opinion, was probably their best linebacker. And to lose him – maybe you can squeak by Penn, but where do you go from there?
Let me ask you this. This is kind of out of the box. Steely's such a dog. Steely's another big D1 prospect. Could you maybe sneak Steely down there, or maybe move Anderson in the middle and maybe have Steely slide into an outside backer, because you're so good in your secondary? Could you play around with Steely and maybe try to minimize that loss of Bennett with the greatness of Steely?
Hey, man, I don't think anything's out of the box in the playoffs, Joe.
I agree.
And I think that's a great point that you make, especially when you've got Valdez on the back end as well. Maybe Steely becomes that just designated hitter all over the field for him. I mean, they've used him at running back. They've used him at safety. They've slid him over more towards the corner. He's great.
I agree, and what a great game. Now, the other 6A game is Homestead travels down to number 1 Hamilton Southeastern. Now, what do? You come in with Homestead. You've got a good quarterback, okay, with Peyton Slave, and you've got a good, big offensive line. I love Williamson. I love Worth. You're hurting on defense, okay? Yes. You're outgunned on defense. What do you do if you're Homestead? Do you come out? Do you maybe try a little no huddle? Do you try to attack a little bit early on? Do you maybe if you win the toss, do you take the ball, or what? What would you do knowing that you feel like you have an offense that could match up with them, but you're limited on defense?
Man, I totally agree with that.
I guess we're going to have the
national anthem.
We'll get back to that in a second, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. a journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
In 1952, my father, Jim Kelly, opened his first dealership. Thanks to loyal customers, dedicated employees, community support, and a bit of luck, his business grew. 70 years later, that dealership has become the Kelly Automotive Group, with 14 brands and 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall. Thank you for 70 amazing years. It's been the ride of a lifetime. We hope you join us for the next 70.
Yo, what's going on? It's Antoine Taylor with Matrix QB. I'm so excited to announce our new book, The Quarterback Tool Shed. Strictly designed to help you slow the game down so that you can speed up. Whether you're a parent, a coach, or a player, it's jam-packed with information. We're going to help you slow the game down by giving you a mental processor so that you can speed up. This resource has all the things you need, from reading the defense, passing mechanics, pre-snap filters, coverage ID, and much, much more. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see you on the inside.
Man.
Welcome back, everybody, here in Kendallville, Indiana. About ready to kick off.
Woo.
It's East Noble and Leo. East Noble, the 5-5 record. The Lions 7-3. What a place to be. We are jam-packed here on the East Noble side of the stands. And, guys, I'm telling you what, excited for this one. And I know you guys are breaking down some of the other matchups around the area. And I think you last left off with Homestead. They're taking on a Hamilton Southeastern team that's ranked number 1.
And I was just asking Jake to finish up on that game. What do you do if you're Coach Zolman, Jake, when you know you have a good offense, but your defense is totally outmatched?
Yeah, here's what I do in the week leading up to is I'm coming up with my first 3 plays on the script. And I want my second and third down to be something manageable that I can get a first down on, because the first thing I'm doing in the game, opening it up, I'm sending 3 or 4 verticals down the field and taking a shot to the end zone. I don't care if I'm at my own 25. I'm sending one deep and just sending a message that, like, hey, guys, you may be number 1, but we got nothing to lose. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. We'll throw on first down. We'll onside kick. We don't care.
I agree totally. And, Jeff, quickly, what's your thoughts on Snyder-Dwenger, the rematch of the playoffs?
I love that game. You know, it's just one of those things where Snyder's absolutely loaded. You know, we talked about at the beginning of the season that Carroll's going to have one of the best defenses, and Snyder's right there. Love the middle linebacker, Lucas Rohrbacher. His uncle, Brock Rohrbacher, used to be the athletic director over here at Leo. So Snyder is loaded. They got players all over the place. I think Dwenger's in that game through 3 quarters. I think Snyder sneaks away with about a 14-point victory.
Now, I love that, man. That's going to be a heck of a game across town, too. Just some wonderful matchups tonight, guys. And, you know, everybody proud. The IHSAA, obviously, you know, top-notch, bringing in the top-notch officials, and it's going to be a good one.
But, guys, think about this. Think about what next weekend could be. You could possibly have, what is it, Columbia City and one of these 2 teams, so let's say Leo. Okay, a lot of people are picking Leo to win this game. Swami had him as a 4-point favorite. You could have Snyder versus Northside. Arguably one of the best games in the SAC for the last 3 years. Okay, in 2A, you could have Bishop Lures and Eastside.
Wow.
Guys, what a matchup that would be right there. I know a lot of us want to think, okay, Cherubusco's got a shot against this Bishop Lure squad, but this Bishop Lure squad, when you think of McCullough and you think of Nick Thompson and Stansky, hopefully Stansky's okay, will be 100%. That's going to be a tall task for Busco. And guys, it looks like East Noble's getting ready to come out. The crowd is clapping in unison here. I love this place. This is high school football. This is Friday Night Lights.
Real.
Check it out right here. Here comes East Noble to take the field.
These are the moments in high school football that you never forget.
Cowbells and black unis, fellas. Here we go.
Most definitely. And then we can't forget about Norwell. They're at Concordia today. Not many people giving the Cadets a shot to win that one. I'd kind of have to agree. Norwell, this is a team of destiny. They nearly just ran through the NE8. They're going to play the winner of Yorktown and Garrett. I think Norwell will be too strong for Garrett as well. Now we got the captains going out to the center of the field. Number 2 for East Noble. Of course, that's Xander Brazel, just a junior. That just kind of shows you the moxie of Brandel, or of Xander Brazel.
Yeah.
So let's take a look here. I believe they already did the coin flip, so the referee's going to
reenact it.
Absolutely. Now, Joe, you used to be down on the field for this with the microphone.
That was the best because you know what? You could look in the players' eyes.
Yeah.
And you could just get the feel of how ready they were, how hungry they were. That was one thing I always loved because you really got the feel. Jake got a little taste of that last week being on the sideline of Wayne and Columbia City.
Wow.
You get down there and you can feel the emotion.
Yeah, so it looks like Leo wins the flip. They're going to defer. East Noble will receive it, and they'll be on the north end of the field. Joe, maybe we bring that back next week.
I tell you what, we might have to with the sectional championship. I would enjoy going down there and kind of getting the feel for that, Jeff.
Look at Leo. They're more business-like.
Oh, yeah.
East Noble, they're jacked up on their side. Remember last week it was Wayne that was all jacked up, and it was Columbia City that was business-like. But here we go. Coming to kick it off for the Lions will be Jake Patton, a junior, at 6 foot, 175 pounds. He wears number 11. Back to return it for East Noble. They got Trevor Marcelius, a senior, at 5'10", 160, and Tyson Reinbold, the junior, at 5'9", 195.
We want to thank all of our great sponsors, too.
Looks like actually
Dan, who's going to do what? And that's a 5-yard penalty, so now you're behind the chains on 4th down. Got to punt the ball here, so we'll see, man. So I tell you what, this is an opportunity. Look at East Noble. They're coming. Now that punt return, man, Jake, he's too far back. He's got to step up.
Big punt. Going to be fielded at the 42-yard line, and great coverage down the field. That's number 2, Landon Hepner.
Yeah, great job by Hepner, Jake, to make that tackle. But the East Noble up back comes up and catches the punt, doesn't he, Jake, and saves that field position.
Absolutely, and you called it, Joe. You know, that's just good coaching. You
Yes.
make them re-kick that
Absolutely.
ball. You just gain 20 yards of free yardage on
Yes.
a 5-yard penalty. So you really just set yourself up at midfield instead of being back inside your own red zone. So great call by Coach Amstutz and his guys.
And, Jeff, how about that first couple of series? Man, East Noble looks like they're just going to run the ball down their throat. Leo stiffens at the goal line. We see the greatness of Brock's shot making that 4th down tackle. And then East Noble does a nice job against the run. So both teams kind of feeling each other out.
Michael Mosley doing a great job rushing the ball early on here
Yes.
for the Knights. Out of the pistol, they're going to fake it to him. Looking downfield as Brazel has a man.
Oh, man.
Just a little bit out in front. That was intended for number 32, Dylan Krell. Wow.
Yeah, he had Correll. Unbelievable. I tell you, I like the play action, Jeff, because it froze the backers. That's what they can attack. I bookmarked that and come back to it. Brazel's just got to put that ball on the money, and we have a score to pass on, kind of a surprise. Manchester 7, East Side nothing. So
okay.
Manchester says, yeah, we're here, dog. Let's go. We're ready to play some ball. So great score.
2nd down and 10 from their own 42-yard line.
Beautiful,
Mosley
beautiful.
hit in the backfield. This defense is coming alive
You're right
for the
about
Lions.
that, Jeff.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's how Coach Z wants it. That's Alex Holcomb, the middle linebacker, rolls in with 86.5 tackles, 11.5 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. Man, the senior, the sheepdog in the middle. Watch the penetration here in the traction AP rate. See him shoot right there? Beautiful. Fills the hole. I got you, dog. I see you, Alex. Great senior linebackers with Holcomb and Baker for Leo.
And that's a great call there by Coach Zolnick.
Yes.
Putting him on that blitz there. 3rd down and 12 after the loss of 2. Brazel out of the shotgun, sets up the
Great
screen,
call.
has a man. That's Mosley. He's turning on the Jets. Mosley could be gone to the house, taken out at the 14-yard line. Wow.
Crawford got him. Crawford ran him down. But right there is just the beauty of an offensive and defensive play caller duking it out.
Yes.
He knew that Johnny was going to send pressure on the D, so how do you beat the pressure of a blitz? Screens and draws. Perfect screenplay right at the linebacker that left. Nobody home.
And that's Johnny's calling card, is to tune up the heat. He brings the inside blackers on the blitz, Jeff. Perfect play call. Jake's right. Watch it right here. See the backers come? Look at the hole. Perfect play call. Nice. Watch how he gets down the field. That's great play and tremendous effort by Crawford backside to make the tackle.
This is just incredible, guys. Attacking football. Both sides are just sending everything they've got right here in the first quarter, man. You love to see it.
Yeah, this is Amstutz against Johnny Z. This is really high-octane football as far as the coaching. A couple of the great football minds in the 2-6-0.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 6 for East Noble here, their second drive of the game. Guys, check that out, how the whole offense checks the sideline.
Really a college look that they've got going on there with their setup.
Brazel going to give it off to Mosley. He's
Nice.
caught right away. Huge hit. That's number 6, Drew Baker.
That's another great play. 5'10", 205. I see you, Drew. That's how you play linebacker, filling that gap. Now, here you go, man. Becomes a big 3rd down here, Jake. This is a money down here. Let's see what East Noble does. I might try that play action again, Jeff.
On 3rd and 6, Brazel looking for 6. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown. First touchdown of the game goes to the Knights.
Man, Xander Brazel says, I hear that Jake Smith guy up there, and I don't really like what he's been saying about me these last 2 weeks. Watch this, pal. Little play action. Guy is wide open. Great
Alex
play
Brennan.
fake.
That's what we talked about. Brennan, 6'1", 205, the sophomore. I love the play action. Freezes the backers. And Brazel doesn't have to throw it real hard. Gives Brennan a nice catchable ball. I see you, Brazel. Beautiful pass by Xander Brazel. And I love Brennan, a real up-and-coming tight end, guys.
Sprague, PAT, and it is, looks like we had a botched snap there or trouble on the hold.
Boy, Leo got in there quick. Looked like maybe that was Zeisloff or Schott that got in there, but man, now it didn't get the conversion, so here we go. Now you got some pressure on your Leo offense. East Noble, great screen call, Jake. And then on 3rd and 6, a great play action pass to Brennan. So beautiful offense, Jeff. You know, boy, I tell you what, when Coach Amstutz gets hot and can dial the plays up, is he not one of the best play callers?
Gosh, you're not kidding. And yeah, Tommy called it out. It looks like Grant Petit came off a little bit right there. I don't know if he got banged up on that play, but
how have the inside receiver, somebody relay it to you. I agree. Now you got a big 3rd down here, 3rd and a long one. Look, they got the big back in the game. Look at that. Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice. They put Mons in, one of your favorites, Jake. They put Mons in at H-back, 5'9", 205, the junior, Jeff, and they slam that ball down the field right behind big Colin Butler, another D1 kid that I think a MAC school should gobble up.
Man, just what a start
quarter
to this game, fellas. This is a great football matchup.
Absolutely, Jeff. What a first quarter. It's like watching a heavyweight fight, watching these coaches go back and forth.
And we'll be right back after this quick break. You're watching Indiana High School football on Summit City Sports.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. a journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Welcome back, everyone. East Noble up 6-0 as we start the second quarter. Joe, do you have any score updates?
Yeah, quick scores. Snyder 7, Dwenger nothing. Lure 7, Cherubusco 7. Ooh. Fishers 21, Northrop nothing. Northside 7, Anderson 3. Norwell 14, Concordia nothing. Columbia City 14, DeKalb nothing.
1st and 10, full backfield here. Decker out of the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Loeffler, has a lead blocker, and Max Loeffler going to walk it in from 12 yards out. Touchdown.
Oh, my God. Guys, if there's a play this entire year that I'm going to put on replay when I'm watching off-season tape, right there. Pistol full house, made famous by Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, and power run inside with it. Beautiful, beautiful play call.
Beautiful play. And the center, Riley Stewart, 5'11", 220, gets the block on that. That was powerful football and dominating at the point of attack for Leo. And how big are these extra points now, guys?
Into attempt the PAT. It's number 51 for the Lions. Riley Stewart. And it's up and it's good. So Leo converts and will take the 7-6 lead.
And back to our readers real quick, Jeff. I was at Tom Steele Tire, who's been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. I hope you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area. From ages 5 to 18, our players equipped with elite-level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on board. Together, we can reach the summit. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. Are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you? Whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated, Jolly Law Firm is your answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration is providing top-notch commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for convenience and flexibility. Most degrees can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu.
Outstanding, Jake.
And quickly, another score update. It's now Northside 14, Anderson 3, Adams Central 7, South Adams nothing, and Eastside scored now. So Eastside and Manchester are tied at 7. So great playoff matchups.
And what a game we have here as this ball will be fielded at the 14-yard line. And not a whole lot of room to run is taking it to the 23-yard line for the Knights.
Boy, and they're bouncing around now. Leo is, how big was that answer on that score? So we saw some different formations. We saw Leo really probe that East Noble defense there, Jeff. So now let's see what East Noble comes out and does. But, man, what a good one so far.
Looks like that was Trevor Marcellius on the return for the Knights. Not sure if he was banged up a little bit, but heading to the sideline. And absolutely, Joe, we thought this one would be a dogfight, and so far it is. What a great way of responding there for Leo. It was all set up by that huge RPO by Kyler Decker. 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Brazel out of the shotgun. And in motion, going to hand it to the motion man on the sweep, and
Brock.
Nowhere to go as Brock Schott cleans up.
Woo. I see you, Brock. 6'3", 200. That's Power 5, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Jake Smith. Another play by Brock Schott.
You're not going to get beat on the jet sweep to the same side twice in one game. They got him earlier, and they're not going to. They're going to make him pay that time.
That's a tremendous play by Schott.
So Mosley still in the backfield here with Brazel, as it'll be 2nd down and 17 after the loss of 7. Boy, Brock Schott is playing the best ball of the season from his defensive end position. Mosley trying to cut it back and breaks a tackle all the way to the 25-yard line. A gain of 9 yards on the play.
I like Mosley, man. 6'1", 210. When he plants the outside leg, Jake, does a nice job of staying patient in the hole.
He did, and they really, the linebacking corps and D-line scraped down really well right there, but he's just a hard runner.
Yeah, nice plant right there in the Traction AP replay. That's a good run. Now, this is a big play here for both teams. If you're Leo, you desperately want to get a stop here.
3rd down and 8. Brazel looked like there was some miscommunication there. Now he's going to go to the running back, and great defensive play breaking it up there for Leo was Aiden Mons.
That's a great play by Mons. It was kind of a play-action throwback wheel route, Jake. And how about Mons closing on that? That was a great sequence of defense. Watch it here in the Traction AP replay. Brazel gives you the play action. You see that? He wants the back out of the backfield in the wheel route. Beautiful by Aiden Mons to cover that up as the outside backer. Man, is Leo good on defense, and man, are they well coached on D.
Guys, did Brazel turn the wrong way on that one?
He did turn the wrong way. He should have faked the other way, and that may have made Mons bite a little bit more on the play. But Mons has the back out of the backfield on that, Jake, and that's good recognition by Mons to get on that back and take that away.
Now our all-star spotter, Tommy Norris, called this out. Number 67, Grant Petit, their center, they took him off the field. They taped up his right ankle, and they worked him. He went back on the field to try playing again, and he's having a hard time getting off the blocks. And that's got a really big push for the Leo defense, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one as the game goes on.
Yeah, they need him, and that's a shame because Grant's just a junior, 6'3", 270. Good eyes down there, Tommy Norris. He's a big-time player in their offensive line, Jeff, so they're going to need him somehow to kind of gut it out. But it's tough as a center to have a bad leg, man.
So it's going to be Keegan Corbin, to punt it. He's got 20 punts on the season, an average of 30.7, 2 of them inside the 20. And to return it is Cam Zeisloff, the junior, 5'9", 170.
Boy,
he's got four punt returns, averaging 14.3.
Yeah, he's dynamic. Got to be careful here if you're East Noble.
Here on 4th down and 8. Look at this spread punt formation. Corrigan took his time there. Corbin getting that punt off. And that's going to bounce sideways. Gets a little help. And East Noble's going to down it at the 46 of Leo.
Yeah, good field position for East Noble. So a win on defense, a win on special teams. Now you've kind of got your run game grinded up. We got to see the pistol full. We saw a lot of different formations. Jake's over here just oohing and ahhing. Now maybe you come back here on 1st down, Jeff. Maybe you get the ball to shot on maybe a play-action pass. But I kind of like what Leo's doing. Leo's probing that East Noble defense, getting a feel for what they can run.
So on 1st and 10 from their own 46. Decker out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. Max Loeffler offset left.
Now, if I'm East Noble, I'd bring my safety up a little bit tighter.
Decker's been outstanding in this game so far. Handoff goes to Loeffler. Loeffler finds a hole.
Nice.
That's a huge gain all the way to about the 36-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 20 yards.
Leo has stepped on the gas, Jake Smith, at offensive lines, firing off. That 3-man front for East Noble, they morphed into a 4-man front there. But Loeffler just does a fantastic job getting through the hole and steaming down the field. But now you're starting to see Jacobs and Stewart and Wirtz and Jacobs and Butler fire off that ball. Now they're going to attach the tight end here with Shot and really hammer away.
1st and 10 now from the East Noble 36-yard line. In motion is Luke Collins. Handoff once again to Loeffler. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a gain of about 4 yards.
Yeah, you love to see good coaching, especially with your backs. And they bring in Fuller a little bit and say, hey, man, Loeffler, you know, maybe haven't had the best stretch of games here a little bit. Let's get a little fire on you. And look at the way Loeffler's running tonight, man. That last couple of runs, he's mad, and he's just running north and south, looking great.
Be second down and 7.
I like Leffler. Just runs so hard. Such a great player.
Decker going to keep it himself. Spun around. Great pursuit by the East Noble defense, finishing him off on the far side of the field. That's the linebacker. It was like number 14 for East Noble. Yeah. Connor Leans.
Yeah, nice job by Connor out there. And Tyron Parks stays home, the defensive end. So Parks and Lyons makes that play out there, Jake. So excellent defense for East Noble. Got to suck it up here. Now a huge third down.
Leffler averaging 10 yards per carry right now. 6 attempts, 60 yards. Leffler cuts it up right up the middle. Look at the speed by number 12. Taking it all the way to the 13-yard line, a gain of 20 on the play.
And that's a great block by Colin Butler. I see you, Colin, just collapsing the right side of that line down. Check it out in the Traction AP replay. This is smash mouth football. Watch the right side of the line, the block. See it right there, wall them off. Beautiful. Excellent. Look at the cut of Leffler. Gets in the hole, gets upfield. Wow, man. A little bit of Coach Sauter football there, Jake. I tell you what, man. Now here comes your pistol again, baby.
Boy, Leo having no problem running the ball in this game. 1st and 10 from the East Noble 15, looking for back-to-back touchdowns. Leffler cuts it outside. Look at him high step in there.
Wow.
Touchdown from 15 yards out.
That is just great offensive play call. And you say, you know what? This worked a little while ago. There's no way they'd fall for it twice. Yeah, okay, we'll do it anyway. That was beautiful, man. Pistol full house football.
Wow.
It's so different than a power T look because you don't know. You have to stay cognizant of the pass, too. But you have those two wing backs or slot backs, whatever you want to call them, side by side with your quarterback. And you can get misdirection, or you can send them out and fake a wheel or fake a screen and then just send your running back down on dive. And that was just straight up, down blocking and a dive run, and Leffler just showing why he's just such a beast out there, man.
And if I'm East Noble, I'm done with this 3-man or this 3-5-3. I'm rolling into a 5-3 now because you know what? When I see that pistol, you're right, Jake. I got to be in a 5-3, man. I got to have 8-9 guys in the box because that was just incredibly dominant, Jeff. And boy, does Leffler do a nice job of getting in the hole and knowing right where to cut it.
And Coach Amstutz there is talking to the referee.
Yeah, we've got something after the. Yeah, we had a unsportsmanlike. It's going to be assessed on the kickoff. I don't know if it was
celebration.
Yeah, and I hate that, man. It's the playoffs. You know what I mean? Let the kids really enjoy the moment. But let's check it out here. Now watch the pistol. You see? Watch it here. See the block right there. Look at the hole. Nice bounce. Beautiful upfield. He's in the end zone. That's a great job. Let's take a look at the end of this. I didn't see anything at the end. I don't know. I mean, if somebody's barking or not, but that's a great play for Leo.
Stewart, PAT attempt. It's up. And
wow.
It's good. So 14-6 is your score. Leo responding big time after that first touchdown by East Noble. That's back-to-back consecutive touchdowns by the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. Good teams answer, and Leo has stepped on the gas. Now, it's going to be important here, Jake, that East Noble sustains this drive. And right now, if I'm the defensive coordinator for East Noble, I'm reworking my whole defense right here, baby. I'm done with this 3-5-3 look. And even if I'm going to morph into a 4-man front, I don't think it's enough. I got to play a 5-man front now. I got to stop the run. I have got to stop the bleeding right now if I'm East Noble.
Boy, and there's so many ways to do that 4-man front, Joe. I love your 4-down lineman.
Yeah.
And then you bring a linebacker. You bring somebody that's rangy and on that weak side.
Yeah, I agree, and I got to do something because I've got some dogs at backer. I love Krill and Lyons and Bentley and Ramey, and I like Corbin, but I've got to be bigger at the point of attack because right now I'm getting bullied up front. And see, the issue is my nose and my right end are only 210 and 215.
Yeah.
So I'm getting bullied right now, Jake. So what I got to do is I got to get big and I got to get more muscular up front so I can plug those gaps, especially when I see that pistol you love. When I see that pistol full, I'm screaming. I'm rolling into a 5-3, 5-4 if I see the pistol full, baby.
Marcelius and Reinbold are standing at the 25-yard line, guys. This could be huge for East Noble.
Yeah, that was a big penalty, the unsportsmanlike. And I'm unhappy right now if I'm Coach Dorfler with that penalty. But a break for East Noble and maybe a chance to get your offense going.
Kick is off, and Marcelli is going to receive it there at the 28-yard line. He's got blockers looking for a seam. Will be taken down right around the 45-yard line. Guys, that extra push there gave him about 3 extra yards.
Yeah, great point, Jeff.
And that was Tyson Reinbold.
Yeah, great point on the field position. Now, Jake, do you roll the dice here maybe on first down and throw something down the field, or do you continue to try to spread them out? I would be a little careful with some of the jet sweep now because I feel like Schott and Furnish have really locked in on that. I might come back maybe to a play action here and see if I could look for Brennan down the seam again.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Mosley offset right. He's going to take the handoff. Mosley looking for a hole. Nothing there. Filling big time for the Lions.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a hold. You're going to get a hold, Jeff, I believe, on the right tackle. But, man, how about the fill of Leo? How good are the Leo backers, man, with Mons, Baker, and Holcomb?
Yeah, Drew Baker doing a great job there. Max Leffler now 12 carries for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. Can you say MVP?
Wow. And quickly we'll roll through the scores. Snyder 7, Bishop Dwenger nothing. Bishop Lures now 14, Cherubusco 7. Fishers 21, Northrop nothing. Northside 14, Anderson 3. Norwell 21, Concordia nothing. And Columbia City 14, DeKalb nothing.
Yeah, that's 14-0. Snyder on top. So
okay, so
Panthers are rolling.
Yeah, flexing their muscles. We wondered if Dwenger would be able to come up with some adjustments or do some different things, but that Snyder team is just a juggernaut this year.
Joe, let me know if you can find a Carroll score. Mosley offset right. Going to take the handoff again, holding it with his right arm. Falls forward to about the 39-yard line. That's a great extra effort there by number 28, Michael Mosley.
Yeah, that's a great effort by Mosley, and I love how Zeisloff and the rest of Leo is running to the football, Jake, and how big is that holding call just to get so far behind on the chains on first down, Jake.
It really is, especially in this offense if you're trying to run.
So now it's 2nd and 16. Wow, it always seems like the East Noble running backs have no paint on the front of their helmet. Rolling out to his right, Brazel. That's a tough throw right there, but what a dart by the junior QB.
Yeah, he gets it out there and muscles it, but that's just really got a low chance of success on that, Jake. I don't know if I like that play. I think I'd come back and maybe run play action and maybe see if I can get my tight end down the seam, but this is a big play here in the game because you got about 6 minutes left in this quarter. You feel like Leo's rolling, and now you're in a 3rd and 16.
Guys, I'm looking on the screen here. Brazel's face mask looks a little bit different. Do you guys see the yellow on the top of the helmet? I don't know.
It does a little bit.
Trips to the top, a bunch set. Just trying to set up the
shot. The screen and Schott. That's why Schott's Power 5. They get the perfect play call. Leo bites on it, but just the athletic ability, Jeff, to be able to jump and break that up. Brazel didn't believe Schott could get that high off the ground, Jake. That's another tremendous play. I tell you what, this first half, just send this whole first half to the colleges.
Yeah,
man,
you got some tape, man.
This is beautiful.
Once again, into punt, Keegan Corbin, the junior. Back deep. And that's going to be a fair call at the 26-yard line by Zeisloff.
It's danger time now for East Noble. You had better plug the gaps in your defense here, Jake, because you could see ball control right down the field. You don't want to go into halftime down 2 scores.
Yes.
This is danger time right now for East Noble, Jeff. Boy, how about Leo? Man, is Leo not well coached and the ability to respond, Jeff, in this playoff setting?
Lions will have it 1st and 10, looking for their 3rd consecutive touchdown in as many series.
Carroll 7, Penn nothing in the second quarter. There's your update. Thank you, Casey O'Boyle.
So here on 1st and 10, it's Leffler offset right. He'll take the handoff and once again squeaks through. That's going to be a gain of about 4 yards on the play. Leffler doing a great job of finding those little seams.
Yeah, 5'7", 175s. Run for over 1,100 yards this year. 7.5 yards per carry. Just a great job of finding those holes, Jeff, just like what you said, man. Good back, senior leadership, runs hard, understands his line.
Yeah, the great backs do a good job of getting skinny in those tight holes just by twisting their hips. 2nd down and 6 here from their own 30-yard line. Leffler has had himself a night, and we're only in the second quarter. He'll take the handoff again. This time tripped up right away, but still finds a way to gain 2 yards.
Kind of an interesting caveat that Casey just sent me in that Penn Carroll game. Jimmy Bubba Sullivan, the quarterback wearing number 8 for Carroll. His first cousin is Sam Sullivan wearing number 8 at defensive end for Penn. So how do you like that, man?
That's cool.
How's Grandma and Grandpa enjoying all the Sullivan family? We got an 8 on one side.
Unbelievable.
And we got an 8 on the other, so that's fantastic, man. You got to love that about high school football.
3rd down and 3. Huge here for the East Noble defense. And
can't have it. That's a false start out there by the wide receiver. And, oh, man, we can't have that, man. So
looks like that was Luke Collins there for Leo. And
yeah, you can't have it. That's the worst feeling. He's got his head down. That's a tremendous break for East Noble. You were 3rd and 3. The whole playbook's available. Now you're all the way back to 3rd and 8. Bookmark that, Jeff. That could be one of the more key penalties in this game.
And, Joe, you'll notice East Noble had 4 at the line of scrimmage. Now they'll revert back to the 3-man front. We got spread formation here on 3rd down and 8 for Leo, trying to keep the drive alive. Decker looking to his left, buying some time, coming back to the ball, but it's just a bit short. That's Jackson Keller.
Yeah, and that was good job by East Noble to close out on Keller. If Keller could have just got that ball up a little bit, that was a chance for a conversion. How big was that penalty? Now you're punting now if you're Leo. Should good field position here for East Noble. Maybe one of the last drives of the half, Jeff. So, boy, that was a big stop for East Noble.
And it just seems like at every time they play, one team tries to pull away and they just can't get it done. They just keep it a close one-score game no matter what happens.
So East Noble's going to get great field position here. Wobbly punt, and that's going to be returnable.
Oh, he touched it. No.
And loose ball. That's going to be picked up by East Noble, number 5, Anthony Mitchner.
Wow. You cannot make that mistake. And, man, I tell you what, I would go hug my teammate on that. If it was that, well, I've checked the number to see who that was. I would go hug my teammate on that because, man, oh, man, is East Noble lucky. That could have been disaster. That's Marcellus gambling. Marcellus is a great player. That's just a gamble you can't make. And if I'm Marcellus, I'm over there hugging my teammate that fell on that. And how Leo not get that? Wow. Man, oh, man, Jeff. Wow. Marcellus comes up to gamble on that. And, man, Leo had 4 guys around that ball. Wow, is East Noble lucky there.
So East Noble have it 1st down and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Huge opportunity for the Knights, only down by 8. Mosley takes the handoff, looking to get around the left edge, and does. He'll squeak through all the way to the 48-yard line of the Lions.
And that's a big tackle by Zeisloff, but that's East Noble football right there. Big offensive line. Mosley plants the outside leg, gives you the pads, baby, and I'm coming upfield. Good-looking 1st down play for East Noble.
Like East Noble's done all game long, they quickly get to the line of scrimmage. At least that time the center needed help from the referee to get his helmet snapped. Mosley, once again, looks like the exact same play. This time cleaning up is number 31, Alex Holcomb.
Yeah, it's the same play, Jake, and Holcomb runs backside and makes a tremendous tackle on that. So East Noble likes that to the short side. Furnish only goes about 190 pounds, so they think they can maybe get an extra body and wham down on that. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it again here, Jeff.
2nd down and 7, this time from the 44-yard line of Leo. Nowhere to go.
Beautiful.
Cleaning up on the play was Baker. Getting back there first was number 21, Brett Fuller.
Same play, and Baker penetrates, makes the play. Furnish does a great job. Furnish is so underrated. Furnish could play defensive end. He could play outside backer. He could play the Mike, the Will. That's a great job on defense to hold up and blow that up. So now you're 3rd and 9, Jake. I see what they dial up here.
Huge play for the Knights. 3 wide receivers on the top of the screen. Rolling that way is Brazel. Looking for a receiver downfield. No one there. Throws it away.
Wow.
Got to throw it away. I didn't like the play call. They rolled him to the side of the field. You cut the field in half. Leo overloads it. That's a great job by Coach Z. Man, how good's Johnny Z, boy. He sure can dial it up and call a game, can he?
He can, and you want to see that. Man. You know, that's old school coaching mentality. We're going to run something until they can stop it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Leo finds out how to stop it and stops it big, and then converts there to stop them on the 3rd down, and now we're looking punt again, fellas.
Corbin's 3rd punt of the game. This time he'll look to pin them deep in their own end. No rush by the punt return team. This one goes sideways inside the 20. That's going to roll inside the 15 all the way down to about the 12-yard line. So a great punt by Corbin.
Yeah, great punt and good special teams execution. So let's quickly take you through the scores, Jeff. Snyder 14, Dwenger nothing. So Snyder's rolling over there at on Dwenger's home turf. Lures, how about this one? Lures 21, Cherubusco 7.
Ouch.
Fisher still 21-0 over Northrop. Here you go, Jake. You're going to love this.
Wait, did you say 21-0?
Yeah, Fisher's still 21-0 over Northrop. Is it 35-0 Okay, well, maybe I got no score.
37-0 Norwell on top.
Okay, 37-0 Norwell. How about 28-0 Columbia City over DeKalb now? How about this one? Adams Central 28, South Adams nothing. 21-7 East Side over Manchester.
1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line. In motion is Collins. Collins going to go back. That's that orbit motion you were talking about. Leffler takes the handoff. Jake, is that what you're talking about with that orbit?
That's a little orbit motion right there. Good call, Jeff. Yeah, that's you see pro teams doing this. The Kansas City Chiefs love stuff like that. And when you have a weapon, an athletic player that you can bring in there, it's just anything you can do to get a linebacker or a corner's eyes to freeze for a moment.
Watch
that's
the snap,
key.
though. Watch the snap. He almost lost it. Snaps high. See, here comes the motion. Watch the snap. On the Traction AP. Woo-hoo-hoo! On the Traction AP replay. And Jake's right. They're playing with the motion. That time, Leffler needs to stay in that hole, but they were lucky with the snap that time, guys.
2nd down and 9 for the Lions. Once again, trips on the bottom of your screen. He has shot up top. Shop on the hook pattern. Excuse me, that was not Brock's shot.
Yeah, they were looking that time for Keller out there, Jeff. You're right. Decker has got to trust the read.
Yes.
He has to plant that back leg, Jeff, and deliver that ball. That's a simple hook to the short side. Keller goes 6'1", 200. Another elite sophomore. Keller has got to plant that back leg, Jake, and throw that ball in that situation.
3rd down and 9. The East Noble faithful coming alive here as they're going to hand it off to Leffler, trying to get some cushion. Leffler's got a 1st down. Huge run.
That's why I don't like the 3-man front. They spread you out. You're in the 3-man front. All of a sudden, with this offensive line, Jake, they wham down on you, and Leffler is a magician finding that hole. What a great back. You see that, Jeff? Right there. You see how he finds that hole? They wham down. That's a great play call, too, Jake.
Lots of space and a brand new set of downs. It's 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line for Leo. Leffler once again. Wow, look at him go. Leffler is having a night. Can he take it the distance to the 25-yard line? A 55-yard gain for Max Leffler.
That's a racehorse right there, fellas. He is off.
All over him. 5'7", 175. I see you out there running the ball, Max, but shame on East Noble. You got to get out of the 3-man front. You cannot play a 3-5-3 right now. Watching the Traction AP, look at those holes, Jeff. Look at that. You got to get out of that three-man front. I could have ran through that hole with my boots, baby. I tell you what. But how about Leffler and that Leo offensive line? I tell you what, they're right back in this three-man front. I'd run the ball again.
1st and 10 now from the East Noble 21-yard line. Shot's going to move to the left tight end position. Leffler once again, boy, he's feeling it, and they're feeding the beast down to the 15.
Yeah, better he's slide hot and heavy, man.
Tell him, Jake, you better slide into a 5-3, dog.
Yeah, they got to bring some more guys to the point of attack right now. You've got to get big, especially down here and getting into the red zone. You've really got to get – you have to force them to get out wide because right now that interior rushing attack is just gashing every single play.
This is big, man, because look at the time.
Watch the dive. Watch the dive.
2nd down and 4 from the 15-yard line. Leffler lined up behind Decker's going to take the handoff again.
Ready for it that time.
Yeah, because see what happens with this 3-5 is your backers are so deep. You just can't get the penetration up there. And the offensive linemen are already on your defensive linemen. And then playing the three-man front, your guards can get to those backers on the next level. Now you got to watch the time here if you're Leo and manage it. Big 3rd down here.
3rd and 1, 36 seconds remaining here in the first half. They're going to hand it off to Aiden Mons. Mons, hard to bring down. He's going to stretch out to about the 6-yard line, a gain of 6.
Guys, in right there, the pistol full house. So 3 times in the game they've shown dive to the tailback. So they sell out to the dive, and now you go with a little inside zone give to your wing back there to the left. Was your full back there to your left side on the offset, and that's what the full house does. It's very similar. You know, when we talked to Coach Dorfler on the podcast there earlier in the season, is like that was one of the comments I made. I really think the pistol full house or the pistol wing is a great complement that's somewhere in the middle of his spread and Coach Souter's tee, and look how successful it is out there. Coach Dorfler is just a mastermind on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, he is. I mean, this is really impressive because you're seeing multiple formations, and it's so difficult. And so East Noble's trying to figure out, but I'm telling you, you can't play a 3-5 against this. So we'll see if they want to continue to do it. I would, if I see a 3-5, if I'm Leo right now, I'm going to run it right at your throat. You know what I mean? So East Noble's got good personnel. You got to slide into a 5-3, dog, take the run away, and roll the dice with your corners on the back end. Maybe you put your best guy on shot, Jeff, but you got to stop the hemorrhaging right here with the bleeding.
Guys, Leffler, 19 carries, 175 yards, averaging 9.2 yards per carry.
I'm telling you, man,
with those 2 touchdowns.
I'm telling you, man.
Cow,
you better get out of that 3-5, dog.
He might break his record of 301 yards in a game.
Here's the shot corner route coming at you, fellas.
1st and goal from the 8. Decker with the full house surrounding him. This time he hands it off to number 21. That's Brett Fuller. Fuller taking it down to about the 5.
Little backside counter there out of the pistol full house. I like it.
Yeah, they're probing them, man. They're big. They got a big package in. They're probing. And East Noble. Now, if you're East Noble, I'm begging. We got to suck it up here, man. Man, we desperately need a stop. And if we get a stop, I'm telling my kids, you can lay around a little bit on them a little bit. Let that clock run a little bit. Don't be in a hurry to get up. But you see that, Jeff? They're just whamming down, man. And those 5 backers on the back end just can't react fast enough. And I tell you what, they are just running all over them. And how about the Leo offensive line, Jeff? You talked about them before the season. You said it was one of the offensive lines that you like to watch this year. And, man, just getting after it. Look at them. They're out there again ready to go. East Noble's trying to figure out what to do. Look at Leo. Come on, bring that ball, man. Let's play, man. But tough kids, man. Tough dogs from Grable, Jake, man. Just wanting to put this ball in the end zone. Man, East Noble desperately needs a stop here.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line.
Now, I would say East Noble's confused with what they're running here.
Decker. This time he's going to go back to Leffler. Leffler gets chopped down, falls forward to about the 2-yard line.
Yep, and that's the last, if I'm not mistaken, that's the last time out, isn't it, Jake?
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah, that should be 3. Now you chop them down. Now, if you're got 3rd and 2 here, Jeff, what you probably want to do here is, this is where maybe do you roll them a little bit, Jake, or do you stay in that full pistol? You know more about the pistol than anybody Anybody I know, you stay in the pistol, and what do you run if you do, Jake?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay in that formation right there. And one of the things I'm thinking right now is maybe either a quick use of my tight end, whether it would be a quick out or trying to get him on a fade just to stop the clock again in case I don't get it, so I get one more opportunity with a few seconds left so I can go back. Hey, I got my 4th down opportunity to punch it in. And being up by 8 right now, I would go ahead and go for it and not kick the field goal if it was me. Maybe a little bit of an aggressive mindset, but you're up by 8 right there, so they've got to convert their 2-point conversion. So if it's me, I'm taking 2 plays. This right here is a fade route or an out route, and if he drops it, I go back in with a power run. That's just where my mentality is in this set.
And Jake, you just called a pistol full house?
Yes. So pistol full house, you've got a back to your left, a back to your right, and your fullback behind you.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Leffler already has 2 touchdowns in this game. Remember, it's East Noble that scored first. They're looking for Schott on the jump ball. Touchdown, Brock Schott.
Brought to you by Jake Smith.
Pistol full house fade route. I love it. And guys, so real quick, here's why.
See you, Brock.
Here's why I love the pistol full house and why I thought it was such a good compliment with what Coach Dorfler's doing with Jared Sauter's offense. What does the power T look like? Your quarterback's under center, and you have 3 running backs lined up in a straight line behind him to make the T.
Yeah.
All the full house is that your quarterback steps back in your pistol, and the fullback moves back with him. It's the same formation.
And it's so effective because they pack them in, and you've got a tremendous athlete on the outside with Schott who climbs the ladder to make the catch.
Can Stewart make it 3 for 3 up and does?
Wow.
It's good. So Leo, with 10 seconds remaining before the break, takes the lead 21-6 now.
Just punishing them. No business playing a 3-5 in this against Leo, but you got to give the credit to the Leo play calling. Beautiful play calling. Coach Dorfler, you nailed it, Jake. You see the pistol full down the field, bother you, and then Schott that one-on-one, man. How about Schott going to get that football? How good has Schott been? I mean, we've seen Schott dominate from the defensive line, dominate as a wide receiver. Unbelievable,
but
Jeff.
Joe, we've seen more and more these huge receivers and huge tight ends.
Yes.
We don't see enough jump balls.
No, we don't, and you're absolutely right, and that's a great play call. And how about Decker putting that ball out there? That's a great throw by Kyler Decker to put it out where Schott can get it. So, and how about the play of Decker, on that drive? So, but I'm telling you, man, when Leo gets going with that smash mouth football and that defense, man, they are difficult to deal with.
Joe, check it out on the Traction AP replay. I thought the throw was a little bit underthrown, but Brock Schott is just a man right there.
He goes and gets it. It's beautiful because he's basically throwing it to the outside shoulder, but he wants to put it up because they believe Schott is the best athlete on the field and he'll go get it, and that's what Decker was instructed to do. He executes, and that's where you want your big-time players to make big-time plays in big-time games, and Brock Schott is having a big first half for Leo. And if I'm Coach Dorfler, I'm extremely pleased with my team at halftime.
I'll tell you what, on second look there, it looks like it's perfectly placed as that defensive back pretty much overran it.
Yes.
Brock Schott so big and strong, he's going to hold his ground, goes up and grabs it with the big paws.
And you couldn't get any safety help or anything because you had to sell out to stop the run. That's just having a better scheme and a better play called.
Boy, you guys, Leo is feeling it over there on the sidelines. East Noble picks it up there, Marcellus, to about the 31-yard line. Excuse me, once again, that's Reinbold.
Yeah, that's Reinbold, and good job. Again, you talk about special teams, Jake. Everybody's in their lanes,
yes,
and everybody makes plays. So, man, after that first drive, seemed like Leo's defense kind of sucked it up, have done a nice job against the East Noble offense. So, man, I like Leo. Leo's young too, Jeff. Very young, a lot of talent. You got Zeisloff, you got Furnish, you got Schott. I mean, a lot of nice young players for Leo and good players up front, man.
Yeah, I tell you, Jackson Keller, that is one good-looking sophomore as well. Good compliment over there to Schott. And that's going to do it for the first half. So Leo takes a 21-6 lead into the break. We're going to take a break as well, and we'll be back with more Indiana High School football here on Summit City Sports. Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then, too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier, too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Jim Rat's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November in addition to the club training he was doing because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
And welcome back, everybody. What a great first half of play we had here. It was East Noble scoring the first touchdown as Xander Brazel was able to find Alex Brennan on an 11-yard touchdown. And then from there was the Max Leffler show. 2 touchdowns in a row, and then Kyler Decker finds Brock Schott with 10 seconds remaining to put the score at 21-6. Jake, what a first half there. Leffler, 20 carries for 178 yards, 8.9 per carry with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right about that, Jeff. He's been a racehorse, man, just absolutely putting the team on his back with his running style, and I'm glad we get to see a little bit of Mons out there for you early on in the game, man. That was pretty cool. So, yeah, you know, game starts off, and you think that that East Noble's just going to come and lay the hammer down, and then, man, a little back-and-forth action, and Leo looks like they're going to, you know, start to handedly pull away if East Noble doesn't make some adjustments. But, man, what do you think so far about this game, Jeff, from both sides?
Well, you called this one right here. This is the third touchdown for Leo, where Kyler Decker just throws that jump ball over to Brock Schott.
Man, what an athletic specimen he is, too. Just that basketball down in the paint, send it down to the boards and let your power forward pull it down. Man, what an athlete.
And Jake, just talk a little bit about how they set that one up. You talked about it, the pistol full house there. It was Max Leffler mostly getting the carries. Aiden Mons got the 1 for 5 yards there. But, man, Leffler is finding all those little gaps and is tearing this East Noble defense apart.
You're right about that. And I tell you what, if I'm Columbia City coaches over there, whoever wins this game, I'm not as cocky this time around because these guys are bringing the heat, man, and making a lot of adjustments.
This is a big one right here, about 54 yards by Leffler.
Gosh, look at him go right there. Jeff just gashes it up the middle, turns it back around to try to get outside of the boundary a little bit and break the space. But, gosh, what a powerful running back.
And if you look at the start of that play here with this defensive alignment, you're basically looking at a 3-4. If you're East Noble, what can you do in this situation? I mean, you got 3 wide receivers out wide. You have to account for those men.
You're right, and that's the thing that people get so misinterpreted, I guess, is the best word I can think of. When you're running a spread offense, the spread offense isn't necessarily made to throw deep passes. It's made to open up the inside run.
Yep.
You got to get people in space, and I know our counterpart Joe isn't big on the 3-man front, and in these situations, maybe I'm not so much either. But like you said, you have to stay cognizant of these receivers. So even if you go to maybe a 4-3, you're still in the same situation. They're still spreading the field on you.
No, I agree. I definitely think you need to get another defensive lineman down there, somebody to clog up that line of scrimmage. I like what East Noble's doing out here with the safeties, so they're not right over. They're cheating more guys to the box. They're bringing a lot of guys down, but I'm telling you, this offensive line is just putting in work for Leo.
Yeah, you're right. And so, Jeff, as a linebacker, what do you think about this Leo linebacker play this first half, man? When you're looking at Drew Baker, Alex Holcomb, and Aiden Mons, it seems like those guys have great read and react and great scrape ability.
Yeah, I think it really starts with the play of the defensive line here also for Leo. But Drew Baker has come in. He's got 3 tackles for a loss. Brock Schott 3 tackles for a loss. I mean, honestly, who in Northeast Indiana has been hotter than Brock Schott probably about the last 3-4 weeks of football here in the 260?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about cutting tape and sending it to D1 recruiters, and this guy's just a highlight reel, man. Every week it seems like he's getting something that's going to be put on the highlight zone, and he does it again today on both sides of the ball, and it's just one of those gamers that there's just not enough extra bodies on the field that you can put on him on either facet of the game. And, I mean, being either side of a coordinator trying to go against him, I just don't know what you do. I don't have a good answer for Brock Schott.
Yeah, since week number 7, Schott with 8 sacks. That's 8 sacks just in the last 4 weeks for this Leo squad. So outstanding play there by the sophomore. Great play by the linebackers all game as well. Drew Baker, once again, leading the team with 5 tackles. Cam Zeisloff with 4 tackles. And talk about Zeisloff, because he's one of those tweener players where he can play in the second level at linebacker, and he can also play that safety position.
Yeah, we like to call him the NE8 version of Braden Steely out here. He's a Swiss Army knife. I like to call him the lethal weapon. He's not afraid to just go down to the hole and hit somebody. He's not afraid to he goes all over the field, and he's so rangy. I mean, he's been responsible for stopping a couple of big breakaway touchdowns in this game, and, you love to see a guy like that plays a little bit bigger than maybe his 5'10", 175 shows that he is. He plays more like, a 6'1", 190-pounder out there, and love to see his effort all over the field.
Yeah, and if you're East Noble, I mean, what can you do here in the second half? They've had some success running the ball. Once again, passing the ball hasn't looked too great. Brazel right now 3 of 8 for 49 yards. Did have that nice touchdown pass to Brennan early on. Mosley averaging 4.3 yards a carry, and Logan Hatton 3 carries for 35 yards.
Yeah, like I've always said, I've been pretty hard on the East Noble quarterback this year, and I gotta say, maybe stats aren't the greatest in this game, but I like what I'm seeing from him. I do like how he stepped into that one throw down the sideline. You had the nice touchdown pass, like you said there, Jeff, and I think there's more for him to do. There's going to be more availability. So to your question, Jeff, about what to do in the second half, I think offensively, let's try to get Brazel getting that ball out of his hands on some short crossing routes or some out patterns and kind of open the game up a little bit.
And check this play early on. This is what set up that first touchdown of the game for East Noble. Joe, talk about Brazel right here and what really works on this play.
I like it because the screen, it's a great play call, Jeff. They suck in and drops the ball down. That's just a great play. So they catch him in a blitz. Johnny, Coach Z, is so aggressive with the blitz. But that's a great play call there. And I liked really early on, I thought East Noble was running the ball and had some good tempo, Jeff. And we've talked about that a lot, about the tempo. But it just seemed like Leo stiffened at the goal line. And then the second half, Leo just, if like in the second quarter, Leo kind of took control with that run game and really punished East Noble up front. So I think offensively, I agree with you guys. I think East Noble needs to run some play action, throw the ball a little bit more. But right now, I would have spent my time at halftime fixing my defense if I was East Noble.
Boy, and you're right, Joe. It looks like Coach Z, like you look at this play right here, this is 3-on-2. Leo's got the numbers. Brennan just sneaks behind, and they're able to clean this up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I liked it when they ran the play action with Brennan. I think they've got some good pieces. We haven't seen much of Krill. I think Krill could be a factor in the second half too, Jeff. So I think East Noble just needs to clean it up and offensively and just attack more. But I'm real concerned defensively if I'm East Noble. I got to rework my defense because Leo has showed you some multiple looks, and you see that big power offensive line for Leo really getting off the ball, guys.
And how about Leffler? I mean, Joe, what a night. This might be a new record-breaking night for him. This is his first touchdown of the game, and you're talking about the offensive line of Leo. I mean, they're really just taking control.
Yeah, they are. That's a great call. You see how he stays in the hole. I like the pistol, Jake, because he stays in the hole and does a nice job. And they're just outnumbering him at the point of attack. And the offensive line for Leo, I thought they have played better as the season's gone on. This is the best I've seen the Leo offensive line.
And Joe, Jake, you talked about that in the pregame there. That's Aiden Mons with that lead block right there that really set up that touchdown.
Yeah, Jeff, and it's cool because I know how much you love Steely and I know how much you love Beasy. And it's like we've got the NE8 versions out here. We may be a little bit smaller out here in the county, but these kids, man, they play hard. And gosh, guys, I don't think that this game is over yet. I don't think it's time for the Knights to throw in the towel.
Not by any means.
They do have to make some adjustments. 2-score game here. One of those going to have to come with the 2-point conversion. But if you can get out here, get a nice defensive stop, get things moving again, put a score up on the board, and then it's anybody's ball game going late in the game.
I agree. You got to get a stop here because I would be hyper aggressive in this first drive if I was Leo. And let's see what East Noble comes out in this first defensive series.
Now, Joe, just before we start off in the second half here, this is kind of East Noble's version of the 4-man front right here where they bring that backer down and they got 3 backers right there. That looks like that's your base defense to start the second half.
I agree, Jeff. I think that's a great point. That's what I would at least start with, at least bring a backer down, because I'm just getting mauled up front. But no, I agree, brother.
And Jake made a good point. A lot of teams, they'll use that spread. They'll use that spread to spread you out so that they can gash in the middle.
Yes, and that's a great point. So that's what East Noble's going to have to do, Jake. I mean, you're going to have to show some different looks, maybe that 4-man, but even some 5-man front. You got to do something because right now it's too easy for Leo.
You got your 3-down linemen. Maybe you bring the 2 backers up, Jake, and you bring them in right off the edge. So you try to make that contact in the backfield maybe a yard or 2 deep. So we're starting the second half here at East Noble, down by 15 points. Returning that ball from the 10-yard line. And, busting through for Leo. Who is that? That number 21?
That looked like maybe Fuller,
Brett
I'm guessing.
Fuller? Absolutely.
Yeah, good call, Jeff. Boy, I tell you, that's a good start for Leo, Jake.
No, actually, that's Ethan Crawford.
It was Crawford.
Was that Crawford? Man, I tell you what, it's good to see Ethan out there. It's been a tough year. A tremendous player. It's been a tough year for him, Jeff, because he's had so many injuries. But good to see Ethan so active tonight.
So Leo will start off here, 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. We'll see if Leffler can continue his career night. So far, though, not a season best as he had 301 against DeKalb 2 weeks ago. In motion, that's going to be Landon Hepner. Handoff goes to Leffler. Leffler, nowhere to go. Wow, what a play. Busting that up was number 15, Jacob Ramey.
Man, and what do you think of that to start the second half off, Jeff? Little linebacker action for you there, pal.
Guys, that was outstanding. Let's take another look here on the Traction AP replay. It happened so fast, but that's what you got to have. Your linebackers hitting those gaps.
Yeah, right there. Beautiful. 5'9", 175, the sophomore. Great start for East Noble.
So still, though, 6 in the box here for the Knights. Spread formation in motion. Hepner once again, he'll take it on the jet. Hepner gets around the edge and dragging tacklers forward to about the 45.
Yeah, jet's an interesting call there. I like it, kind of using that East Noble, play against them there. And yeah, I like it. We're going to bring up a third and manageable.
Yeah, interesting to see Hepner in there. Such a dynamic athlete. 6 feet 170, only a sophomore.
So an outstanding play brings up 3rd down and 3. This time 2 in the backfield. Wow, almost looks like the power eye. Decker going to have Mons offset left. Leffler has a lead blocker, but nowhere to go. Wow, East Noble doing a good job of stuffing that play. Who's that leading the way? It looks like a D tackle there. Look at him flexing.
It looked like that was, let's take a look on it. I think that looks like that was that Easton Brown, maybe 78?
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
How about that? That's a big stop. Check it in the Traction AP replay. Watch Brown get in there. Look at that. Nice, beautiful penetration. Closes the play down. Nice. Big stop for East Noble starting second half.
Boy, and that's got to be tough for the Knights. Easton Brown, a two-way player there, 5'11", 270. So on 4th and 3, the Lions punting to start off the second half. A nice-looking punt. And, wow, you got to get a handle on that one, but it will roll in for a touchback.
They're lucky. Marcellus let that go over his head, and Jeff's right. You got to catch that ball, but they're fortunate it goes in the end zone. So, boy, big drive here now for East Noble.
Joe, I thought that one was going to die right before the goal line, but, it was more of a line drive type punt, a great-looking punt.
Yeah, he misjudged it. Look at that right there. Ooh, he's lucky. It's kind of been a little bit of an adventure out there for Marcellus with some of those punt returns. Good player, Marcellus is, but, man, it's a big drive here, Jeff.
And, Joe, what's the golden rule? If it's inside the 10, you let it go?
Yep. You plant your heels in the 10-yard line, and the ball goes over your head, it's gone. Now, here we go. This is a big series here, Jeff.
So we're going to start it off with Michael Mosley in the backfield. He's got a majority of the carries for East Noble in this game. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Mosley this time around the right side, and a great job with the tackle. Looks like number 31. That's Alex Holcomb.
And Holcomb just does such a good job. You feel like with Baker and Holcomb, Jake, they all wrap up so well. You just don't see missed tackles. So that's a good effort by the inside backer. I'd get a little more aggressive here if I was East Noble, Jeff. I might try a play action, or I might see if I can throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Yeah, one guy we really haven't seen get involved is Keegan Corbin in the passing game. 2nd down and 8 now from their own 22-yard line. Mosley once again takes the handoff. Wow, great defensive pursuit.
How about that, Jake? Great job by the backers. Leo's so good up front. And also Tristan Roberts, man, he is really coming along playing that nose. 6'1", 285, the sophomore.
And we'll get out of it, of course. They're going to look to the sideline. But Drew Baker, who led the team in tackles in the first half there with another fine tackle. Look at Baker right now standing at the line of scrimmage.
East Noble's got to throw the ball down the field.
Baker showing blitz all the way, drops back. Brazel rolling to his left across his body. Has a man, and that's a 1st down. Joe, that's exactly what you were calling for.
Yeah, good play call. What do you say there, Jake? I like it. Good ball by Brazel.
Yeah, big time. Way to slide step. He got left, squared his feet up enough to make a good strike. I mean, that was a nice play call there to get him out of the jam.
Look at that in the Traction AP replay. Look at Brazel. He motors down, Jeff. Nice catchable ball. Nice play. Now, if you can throw it a little bit, you'll loosen them up a little bit now.
So Corbin getting his first catch here on 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Motion, and Mosley's going to go the other way with it. Guys, that's kind of some of that misdirection stuff we saw last year. That's a gain of 3 yards.
Yeah, that was pretty slick, a little wing-back counter. Bring the wing-back towards the quarterback, then your linebackers want to follow that to the ball, but then you go inside, give to your halfback, and pretty nice play call, but Leo sniffs it out.
Yeah, Leo's hanging tough, kind of playing a little bit. You're seeing some 3-man front, 4-man front from Johnny. Now they're going to have, looks like Mons is going to be down there in the 4-man here. So interesting cat and mouse.
2nd down and 7. Boy, Mons could play like a D tackle for you. Once again, Brazel looking downfield. Has a man, and that's going to be complete. Oh, no. Big drop. And you know what? Those are the types of things that's been driving Coach Amstutz nuts.
Yeah, you got to make that play. Great play call, Jake. And, man, I tell you what, Jeff, he throws a dart down there. Wow, that was the ones you just have to have in the playoffs.
Brazel had him wide open there, and that is right in the hands of Alex Brennan, who caught that first touchdown.
Yeah, got to make that catch there in the game. Now it's a big 3rd down here.
On 3rd down and 7. East Noble needs to get some life going here to start the 3rd quarter. Ooh, the sideline pattern is good for a 1st down. How about Corbin? Needs to go to him more often.
I agree. Great call, Jeff. Boy, how about those feet, Jake? Corbin makes a great catch on the sideline. I tell you what, Brazel's starting to drop some dimes. Maybe you open it up a little bit. I like what I'm seeing with Brazel. Look at that. Look at that. Watch this ball coming out. See, it's on time. Look at the feet drag. Beautiful.
So East Noble, fresh set of downs here on 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Mosley now offset left. That's Tyson Reinbold there at the right wing. Reinbold lead blocker, and it looks like a missed handoff there, but Brazel does well to get about 3 yards.
Man, you know, little quarterback power there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, Jake?
I don't know. I think that may have been botched, and he just picked it up. I mean, he did a good job of getting what they gave him there.
Brings up 2nd down and 8. Ball spotted at about the 49.5 of Leo.
Now, I'd be tempted here if I was Leo maybe to bring an inside linebacker blitz here.
Showing blitz are the Lions, and they'll bring it. Look at Baker. Oh,
wow.
Wow, they had 3 Lions at the ball. Good call there, Joe.
Yeah, that's why Johnny's so difficult. Such a great defensive coordinator. I mean, that time you put your kids in a situation where you bring your inside backers, and another great play. I can't say enough about these backers, Baker and Holcomb, how well they're playing.
So 3rd and 11. The Leo sideline has been absolutely hype all game long. Total opposite over here at East Noble.
Yeah, now watch. Look, he morphs into a 3-4 now. So you should have some time to throw it in the pocket.
Brazel looking downfield, flushed out of the pocket. Brazel's going to have to keep it and run it himself. Works for extra yardage, takes it to the 45. Gain of about 7 on the play.
Good recognition by Brazel. Furnish beats the block and flushes Brazel out of the pocket. Jeff, I don't want to hear what you have to say about this. I think I roll the dice and go for it here, Jeff.
Yeah, they're going to have to, guys. Early on here in the second half, down by 15 points, need some momentum. Brazel's been great to start the second half here for the Knights.
I'd roll up against the run here. I don't think they're going to throw it. I'd bring all my safeties up and roll the dice here.
Pistol alignment now. Mosley directly behind Brazel, and we have a timeout. Coach Amstutz signaling to the back judge.
He's got a flag down. We'll see what it is.
And it's against Leo.
What was it? I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Did you catch that, Jeff?
No, I don't know if it was encroachment, but I didn't see anything.
Lined up offsides. Wow.
So
that's what we're getting.
Oh, yeah, that looks like that might have been shot from that right end position.
Wow, that's a big penalty to help East Noble.
So new set of downs here, 1st and 10 from their 40. The Knights with life. And wow, look at that. They just caught, who was that coming up for the blitz there from the left side, the outside backer. Looks like number 25 as they're going to hand it off to Mosley around the left side. Mosley breaking tackles out in the open field. Mosley going around the left sideline, and he'll be knocked out right around the 14.
Nice job. Runs through Zeisloff that time, which never happens. And man, is Mosley just getting stronger. 6'1", 210. just motors down the sideline. That's a good-looking play. Gets the edge, and that safety that time for Leo's got to make that tackle. But watch Mosley. See it? Right there, step out of the tackle. Beautiful. I see you, baby. Nice job. Michael Mosley run down the field.
And now on the jet, ball's dropped on the turf, and shot is all over it. Joe, we were talking about Brock. 8 sacks in the last 4 weeks. He's so disruptive.
Yeah, he's so disruptive, so strong, so difficult to block at the point of attack, and that's just a bust on East Noble on first down. You drop that snap, now you're behind the chains, and it begins to put some pressure on your play calling here, Jeff.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 13 after the loss of 3. Reinbold comes off the field for the Knights. Knights with trips on the bottom of the screen. Tight end to the left side. Mosley, they fake the handoff, and Brazel nowhere to go. Good job of filling on the play. Is that Baker again? It sure is.
Wow. What a game for Baker. And that time, Brazel, it's tough, man. He got the play action. The guy's not quite open yet. Sometimes you got to let it fly, baby. You just have to anticipate. Brazel's being careful there, and man, Leo gobbles him up. Watch it right here, Jeff. You see? Got to let it go, baby, right now. Got to let that go. But great job by Leo and a big 3rd down. I might try that screen here.
3rd down and 14 after the loss of 1. Brazel, looks like they were trying to set up the screen. He's going to drop it, picking it up and taking it to the house is going to be Brock Schott for the touchdown.
Wow. Oh, my, Jeff. What a play, Brock.
Holy cow,
This game is brought to you by Brock Schott, man. But I tell you what, they had the screen, and he just hesitated for a moment and lost that ball. Wow, that's a huge turnover and a huge sudden change. And how about that Leo defense? They've had turnovers all season long, Jeff. Rolled in here with 30 turnovers on the season. And Coach Z's defense creates another huge turnover.
Wow. I'll tell you what, if Leo gets out of here with a win and Columbia City does, what a game next week. Jake, does this look like the same Leo team that played up in CC?
No, it doesn't. And I know Columbia City's made some improvements, too, with their scheme and what they're doing, but that's going to be a slugfest next week, guys.
My goodness. 27-6 is your score. 3:47 left to play here in the 3rd. Kick is up.
Man.
Riley Stewart now 4 for 4.
Speechless, fellas.
Joe, check this one out.
Yeah, now watch it. They want the screen. Now you see they got the screen. He's got to let it go. He just tucked it, dropped it, and look, Schott just rips it away and picks it up and runs it in, man. Boy, I tell you, Schott is a 3-phase player, man.
Yes.
You know, he can play offense, defense, special teams, but how about the attacking nature of the Leo defense?
Yeah, and
that's
it's
what I
every
like about
single play.
It is. And Jeff, you're an old linebacker. You know, when you can set those backers free on the inside, man, you're just, it's like you always say, Jeff, you want to deliver the blow, and that's what it feels like tonight with this defense. And I love what Coach Z does on the D, guys, with the way he attacks. I mean, you got to give it up to him. 30 turnovers forced come into this game. I mean, wow. And that's where Brazel has to be able to anticipate that play, Jeff, and get that ball off. That was the proper call with the screen. You just sometimes as a quarterback, you got to maybe sidestep, but get that ball off. But,
Joe,
man,
watching this defensive performance tonight kind of reminds you of watching Carroll or a Snyder this year.
It does. It is dominant. This is the best I've seen Leo's defense, Jake. And I've seen a lot of Leo tape this year, and I've been impressed with the defense. And they've had some injuries, but this is just flat, dominant defense tonight.
So it'll be Brett Fuller to kick it off. 3:47 left here in the 3rd.
You got to answer if you're East Noble here. You're in a big hole. Got to get this and get up the field, Jeff. Man.
Joe, such a great drive there. Yeah. And then for it to end on a fumble return for a touchdown. Reinbold going to take this one as he spins forward, gets about 6 extra yards to the 39.
And see what hurts on that series is you have a great drive. You get down the red zone, first down, you have an issue with the snap. You drop the snap. So all of a sudden you're behind the chains. Now then, you're forced to throw the ball. You run the play-action play. Now, you see it right there, Jeff. He just dropped that ball that time. So much heat, but it is a screen. You have to anticipate that on the screen. And really, you want to suck them in like that.
Right.
But so then all of a sudden on second down, you miss the read on the pass down the seam, and then on third down you have an issue with the screen.
Joe, you're almost waiting for one of those little jump pop passes.
That's exactly what it needed to be. It needed to be a jump pop pass. Now let's see what East Noble can do. They can suck it up and move the ball down the field.
On 1st and 10 from their own 38, Mosley looking for somewhere to go. Drew Baker is there again.
Beautiful.
Baker's going to end up with 14 tackles.
Baker is just fantastic. Reminds me of one of those old Dwanger linebackers, doesn't it, Jeff? And Furnish is out there. Doesn't Baker play like that? Furnish does a great job holding the edge out there. And, I mean, the ends can run, and look how good the backers are. See, look at them shoot right there. Beautiful. Attraction AP replay. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you play defense. Just shoot the gap, break down, make the tackle, baby. Boy, if I'm Coach Z, I'm loving this tonight, man.
Drew Baker coming in second on the team in tackles with 60. Joe, this has got to be his game of the year.
Yeah, he is. This looks fantastic, and I just love the scheme because everybody's free. They're going to burn a timeout. They're totally confused right now, and just totally confused by what this defense has done. And I tell you, Coach Dorfler and Coach Z have really come a long way with this team this year.
Man, you're absolutely right about that. It's just a clinic out there.
Impressive, man. Impressive, I tell you. With high school football in the playoffs, Jeff, you know about raising your level of play.
And Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. Kelly Automotive is celebrating their 70th year in business. Shop all 14 their brands at brands@drivekelly.com. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They'll help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. At Attenmuller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit AttenmullerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 to 18. Our players are equipped with elite level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on the board. Together we can reach the summit.
So 2:52 remaining, and this is really do or die, would you say, Jake?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They've got to take some shots, Jeff.
Brazel out of the shotgun. Mosley going to fake the handoff to him, going deep. Brennan gets turned around. Once again, that's good defense. Nice coverage downfield by Loeffler. Imagine that.
Yeah, just does another three-phase player, and I tell you, boy, the favorites have come out tonight in the playoffs and kind of laid it down. Carroll 21, Penn 7.
Oh, wow.
How about that? That's Jeff. Jeff loves that. Carroll. How about Adams Central 48-7 over South Adams?
Yeah, like earlier this year.
Unbelievable. How about Lures 35-7 over Cherubusco?
Oh, yeah, wow. Saw that one.
Snyder, I didn't see that one. How about Snyder 21-0 last report over Dwanger? So how about the big dogs flexing their muscles and Norwell's winning big too?
3rd down and 12. Actually, they got 2nd and 12 down on the field. That one's intercepted. Landon Hepner.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you get behind. You press a little bit, try to stick it in there, and that's another great Leo young player in Hepner stepping in front of that. So that's just tough, man. You roll them to the right. You got half the field cut in half, you guys, and you're trying to stick that ball in there. Now watch Hepner close on this. You got to play where you're rolling to the right. You see you got a lot of guys in that box right there. You see that? Look at Hepner. Beautiful. Comes off the zone. Beautiful zone call again with the defense. Steps in front of it, man. So, wow, just Leo has totally taken East Noble out of this game with their defense.
Hepner, who leads the team with 11 passes defended. That's his second interception of the season. Jake, didn't you say he's a backup quarterback?
I feel like he is.
Handoff goes to Loeffler. And, wow, 5 yards of carry for Loeffler. Easy.
Yeah, easy, and just domination right now. So, and you're seeing just a lot of the good young players that Leo has. Now, if you're East Noble, you got to suck it up, baby. You got to suck it up, man, and try to play on. Now, if I'm Leo, if I'm seeing this 3-5 again, Jake, with my lead right now, I'm just keeping the ball on the ground right now.
Yep.
I got them outnumbered at the point of attack, and I'm just going to hammer away and run the ball.
So now it'll be 2nd down and 6 from the East Noble 36-yard line. They're going to send Zeisloff in motion as the pitch goes out to Leffler. Has the lead blocker. Leffler, wow, look at him break a tackle. He could take this to the house for the 36-yard touchdown. Leffler getting it done. That's score number 3.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable. I tell you what, I see you, Leffler, and I see that offensive line. And you know what else I see? I see Leo picking up their level of play tonight, baby.
Man.
Wow. Man.
Dang, fellas. Dang.
That's good night right there, man. I tell you what, they lined up and run all over that 3-5 tonight. Unbelievable. And Leffler, that's a great cut, Jeff. How about the vision on that, man? What a great back he has become this year.
And I'll tell you, it's the endurance right now.
Oh.
At this point in the game, you can see that the East Noble defense is gassed and Leffler's just getting started. So that's 5 for 5 on the PAT attempts. Outstanding.
Wow.
How about the coaching, man? Wow, just incredible, the coaching of Leo.
Agreed.
Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business. A system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. Are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you? Whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping get your driver's license reinstated, Jolly Law Firm is your answer. Sioka Quinning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial quinning including cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for the convenience and flexibility. Most degrees can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu.
So Max Leffler, I don't know if he's going to hit a season high at 301, but
he's
man,
on his
what
way.
a night.
And, man, you look at these scores, man, there was just some teams that really flexed tonight, man, when you go through them. How about 42-0 Columbia City over DeKalb?
Wow.
That was at the half, you guys, so that's a running clock. How about Eastside? They spot Manchester a touchdown. It's now 42-7 Eastside. Jeff's West Noble's hanging with Knox 8-0. How about Garrett? Only down 15-6 to Yorktown.
Wow.
So they're battling. Homestead's only down 21-0. I mean,
That's what you want to see. That's respectable football by the Spartans.
That's right. But, man, how about Norwell? 37-0 over Concordia.
Yeah.
I mean, man, is Norwell something to prove.
Ryan Bull takes it off the hop right at the 11-yard line. And not a whole lot to go. Still a good return out to about the 27.
This is what happens sometimes when you have a lot of young kids playing on the team. Sometimes you can have a quarter or so where all of a sudden you kind of have a hiccup and the game can get away from you. But, man, Leo, from the first game of the season to now, Leo's really improved on both sides of the ball.
I cannot wait for that game next week at Columbia City.
Man, that's sheepdog number 2.
It's looking like we're going to have another good one with Northside and Snyder. So
yeah,
holy
you got
cow.
2 great games. You might have to get that pitchfork out for Sheepdog Bowl number 2.
No doubt, man.
And it will be, if Leo wins and Columbia City wins, the game will be at Columbia City.
Yeah, it's Columbia City's home game for the sectional championship.
Wow.
So 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Brazel still battling here as Mosley, oh man, and that defense is still living in the backfield. Baker again with his 8th tackle.
Just a tremendous play again, closes down. And that's what's so difficult with the offensive line for East Noble. Somebody's got to get a hat on the backers. The backers can shoot so fast. Maybe you tighten down the splits a little bit, Jeff, on that?
You have to, Joe.
I agree.
Talking about the splits from the offensive linemen because these linebackers are just living in the backfield. Joe, this kind of feels like that Little League game where the team puts 10 runs on you in the 6th inning. You're like, get me off the field, man. Mosley this time busting through. Look at Mosley, power forward for a first down. That's a 10-yard gain.
I like him, Jake. I think he's a good-looking prospect, too.
He really is.
It's good to see guys just keep fighting. This is, unless a crazy miracle happens here, Leo's going to take this game. But for your seniors and for your club, your program, you want everybody to stay, as hype and just take in the moment until it's your last game that you could play high school football,
Yeah, try to put a couple drives together and work through it. But I'll be honest with you, man, I thought this would be a very, very razor-tight game. And Leo's just totally raised their level of play.
Boy, Casey said what? Leo by 4, and I picked East Noble.
I did too.
Holy cow. Mosley coming back right up the middle. I'll tell you, Mosley has put together a nice game here, dragging tacklers, gain of about 7 yards.
Man has that old John Riggins feel, doesn't he, man, with that old helmet and dropping those pads. But, yeah, I like Mosley.
Now averaging 5 yards a carry, 19 carries for 87 yards.
Yeah, he's grinding away. Now maybe you got a second and short here. Maybe you go back and put the ball in the air here if you're East Noble. That's the end of the quarter. So, wow, what a third quarter for Leo. Wow, that was domination.
So that'll do it. You're watching Indiana High School football here on Summit City Sports. We'll be back for the fourth and final frame after this quick break.
Sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to start the fourth quarter. East Noble on 2nd down and 3 from their own 46-yard line. Trying to get something going here, Joe. Trying to keep their head above water and give themselves a sign of life.
I throw it here, Jeff, if I'm them.
2 wide receivers at the top of your screen. Mosley's going to take it. Mosley barrels through for the first down.
And you're okay with that if you're Leo. We're just going to play ISO football that time, and that time it was Holcomb that's making the tackle, so I like it, man. I really like it. You know what else I like about Leo tonight is seeing Ethan Crawford in there at the other safety position. I think that makes a big difference, too.
So first down and 10. I'll tell you, Tristan Roberts has done a nice job there at nose guard. He's only a sophomore, Joe.
Yeah, great point. About 285. Athletic 285, too.
How about this sophomore class? Mosley once again spinning forward. Another first down. That's a gain of 10 yards.
Yeah, that's power football at that time. They kind of get the pad level right. And I really like this East Noble offensive line too, Jake. I mean, you've got some good size, good athletes. Watch them fire off here. See that right there, Jeff? Look at that. Look at the center. That's a nice block out there for East Noble by Petit. And how about Petit, Grant Petit, 6'3", 270, just kind of toughing it out there with a bad ankle.
Looks like that was a gain of 9, so it's 2nd down and 1. Brazel with Mosley right to his right. Brazel now going to take it himself. Look at that, staying above the line of scrimmage. Wow, beautiful tackle.
That was a nice pass to stick it in there. It looked like that was Fuller out there, Jeff.
That was.
Man.
Way to hold on to that football, bud.
That's some guts to catch that.
1st and 10 now from the Leo 28-yard line. What do you think, guys? Get 6 here, then the onside attempt.
Yep.
Brazel has Mosley offset left. Brazel looking to his left with the pump fake. Now lobs it up for Brennan. Brennan, that's the 2nd time where he's gotten turned around on that pattern.
Yeah, he's got to keep going wide on that, doesn't he, Jake? You don't want to start turning because you lose your momentum. That was a good ball by Brazel. Brennan's just got to continue to run and take it to the outside.
Yeah, the more we see it, to Jeff's point earlier, it does seem like it's maybe a wide receiver problem.
Yeah, watch it. This is a good ball. He lets it go. You see him turning around? He's got to continue to take that route to the corner, and he's going to run right underneath that ball, Jeff.
Well, going to the corner gets you more separation from the DBs.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
2nd down and 10. Handoff, Mosley stumbling forward, falls to about the 23-yard line. Nice gain of about 6.
He's got good feet for a big back, doesn't he?
Sometimes it's that tippy toe, but he keeps moving forward.
He moves forward. He runs hard. I'm going to probably give it to him again here. Let's see what they dial up here. Now Leo's back into a 3-4. I'd get back into my 4-man if I was Leo. Let's see what they do here. But, boy, Johnny's been masterful tonight with that defense.
On 3rd down and 5. Corbin on the bottom of your screen. Mosley again.
Wow, look at Big Roberts. I see you, baby. You see Big Roberts finish that one off. Woo, Jeff, you called for it. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Just an attacking defense.
And that was Brock's shot at the point of attack.
Yep, and Roberts finished it. Now you got to go for it. Got to throw the ball here. Those linebacker blitzes are so exotic but so effective.
Well, and shot just cannot be guarded one-on-one. On 4th and 7, Brazel has a man.
Nice.
That's a big completion. With the catch is number 1, David Sturdivant.
Yeah, nice job by Sturdivant. And all that is, that's just an out from that slot position, Jake. And he keeps him in the pocket. I like that better, the pocket passing, instead of constantly making him roll.
Jeff, is Brazel a sophomore or a junior?
Junior.
He is a junior, okay.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 12, Mosley. Once again, cutting it up. Good job with the tackle, Alex Holcomb.
Yeah, good linebacker play. Just excellent scrape. The read and react. If you watch those Leo backers with Baker, Holcomb, and Mons, you never see a bad step. You know, they never take a step and put themselves out of position.
2nd down and 6. Mosley cutting it up, and it looks like he's got another 1st down. Should be 1st and goal from about the 2.
Just continues to run hard. Boy, he's a good-looking player. Came in, man, with about 6.5 yards per carry, guys, and 12 touchdowns on the season, and just a dominant running back in the county.
They're going to bring Reinbold in. See if he can cap it off here. Wow, look at Reinbold just bully his way in. Is that 6?
Yes.
They're going to give him 6.
Wow, that was East Noble football, wasn't it?
Yes, that looked really nice.
That was
drive.
bully ball. That was bully ball right there. That's a good drive. Got to go for 2 now. See if you can catch up and get some points.
So for Tyson Reinbold, his 7th touchdown of the season. But I'll tell you what, Mosley set that one up right there for his buddy.
He sure did.
Both guys are juniors and will return next year.
Yeah, they get a lot of guys back. Well, they're going to kick the extra point. I'm surprised. I would have went for 2 because you want to get this down to – they got it. Good kick.
Yeah, Sprague puts it up and in. So Sprague now 35 of 37 on the season PAT attempts.
Good response. You know what? Playing hard. You know, that's the mark of a good program and a good coach.
Absolutely.
Kids are playing hard for their coach, still battling along. Caught a couple of big right hands, but they're still coming out and fighting in the middle of the ring.
Hey, and crazier things have happened. You remember, was it Buffalo in the AFC Championship when Frank Reich was the quarterback?
Yeah, against Houston. Houston was running that. That's when the run shoot. How do you remember that stuff? That's when the run shoot got the bad reputation, not be able to run the ball because they were up like 35-7. And Frank Reich, Jim Kelly got hurt again. You know, Jim Kelly, he was always hurt. God bless him. Frank Reich came in and they rallied and won 38-35. And Houston all of a sudden couldn't get a 1st down, couldn't run the ball.
Oh, man.
I remember that, man. That was a comeback for the ages. That's when the run shoot. Everybody loved the run shoot at that time. That's when everybody was like, well, now wait a minute, I don't know that. And then when Buddy Ryan threw that punch. Remember when Buddy Ryan was the defensive coordinator for Houston Oilers, and he punched Jack Pardee? That hurt the run and shoot. Those were the 2 plays that kind of hurt the run and shoot, man. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of moved on after that. But
people always forget, though, how great Buffalo was there for about a 5-year stretch.
It's a shame they never won the Super Bowl. That was that one field goal Norwood missed against the Giants. That was the year they should have won the Super Bowl. But now here you go. This is what Jake loves, special teams.
Absolutely. They got 6 on the bottom here. Sprague, beautiful looking PAT, but an even beautiful catch there by Jackson Keller.
Yeah, just solid, aren't they, Jake?
Yep, didn't let that one get away from him. And you like to see him put the ball in the air there, a little bit of sky underneath it. But if you're going to do that, you got to drive the ball a little bit harder. And, you know, Leo didn't fall for it.
No, and Leo's just really picked it up tonight, man, I tell you. This is the best I've seen Leo all year on tape in person. We had him against New Haven. We were impressed with New Haven, but this is much, much more physical than what we saw at New Haven, guys.
Yeah, and you got to believe Leo's going to be a favorite to win the NE8 next year.
Yes.
So 1st and 10, ball right in the middle of the field at the 50 for Kyler Decker and the Lions. Zeisloff in motion as they'll give it to number 21. That's Brett Fuller.
Yeah.
Fuller picking up right where Leffler left off with an 11-yard gain.
And to go back to the pregame, that was my main concern for East Noble. When you looked at this 3-5, you said to yourself, only 20 tackles for a loss the whole season. That's only 2 a game. Watch it here. Watch how deep the backers are. See the 3-man front? Watch them wham down, and watch Fuller get in the hole. See it right there, the cut? Beautiful. See that? Beautiful. That's what worried me in the pregame. 5 sacks, only 20 tackles for a loss. That told me when I broke the game down that East Noble is just not playing in the backfield with their defense.
1st and 10 now from the Knights' 39-yard line. This time it's Hepner in motion.
And a false start that time. Brought the motion and somebody jumped, huh, Jake?
Yep, I thought I saw that too.
Nah, don't throw it here. I just continue to run against this front. Shorten the game. Even if I'm behind the chains here, Jeff, I just continue to run, man.
No, I agree with you, and I love that Fuller's getting some reps now. And
just so many good backs. And they always had a lot of good backs with Souder, too. You know, they could just rotate them in. That's something that I think that Jason kind of inherited.
Fuller entering today with 500 yards on the season, averaging 7.3. First down and 15 after the 5 yards gets tracked off. That time, nowhere to go.
Yeah, good defense that time out there. I tell you, man, Lyons is a ball player, too. We haven't had a chance to mention him as much. He came in with 89 tackles, Jeff. 6'2", 200, only a junior. Good-looking prospect. And they had a really good 8th grade team, too, this year.
So when you think about the NE8, I mean, both of these teams are set up for a 1-2 punch in the NE8 next year. Who knows what you're going to get from Leo?
Yeah,
not from Leo, excuse me, New Haven.
Oh, yeah. We're just wondering about New Haven right now.
You got to believe they're going to be right up there around the top, but gosh, will Norwell and Columbia City be able to hang with these two next year? Pitch goes out to the right side, Fuller, and now this defense is holding strong.
Yeah, better. That was better chase on the backside. Fuller delivers the blow, but East Noble's so young, and it'll be interesting to see how they develop. But, man, is this offensive line. I'll tell you what, man. I'm loving on my offensive line when I get back on the bus, man.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm Leffler or Fuller, you know that, Jeff? I'm telling you what, I'm loving on my offensive line. Look at Big Colin down there. He just looks big from up here, doesn't he? Look at that big 77.
Boy, Leo's peaking when you want to be peaking.
Absolutely. Big sheepdog. I see you, Colin. Big sheepdog down there lying up. Watch him. He's going to fire off again.
That clock is just tick, 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 tick as Mons falling forward. They got 4th down there on the field, but now it's going to be 4th and about, 5?
Yeah, timeout. Looks like East Noble took a timeout, so Leo's just grinding this game up. Boy, how about the big boys tonight, though? Man, oh, man.
One thing I've been looking at as being cognizant as a play caller, as an offensive kind of guy, I've been wondering in some of my play calls is some of the play scripts that I've been writing in this as the offseason will start for my own stuff. And I'm wondering, I love the pistol wing, I love the pistol full house, but then I'm thinking what under center formation would I really want to have when it's cold, when it's wet that you have to have. And I wondered, is power I something? It's something old school, but similar. And seeing how Dorfler has installed the power I here as the game gets down into crunch time and just mixing up some of those toss sweeps and some interior runs. I love the way his brain works. I love watching this offense.
Yeah, and they do it out of the pistol, where Mons is right next to Decker, and then you'd have Leffler behind him.
Now you attach the tight end here. Look, you got 2 tights. Watch this.
Here on 4th and 5 in the backfield. is Fuller as they're going to pitch it to Zeisloff going around the left side, cuts it up, and he's got a first down. Look at the speed there by Cam Zeisloff.
That's right, and I correct myself. That was only one tight end attached that time, but, boy, you got a lot of weapons with Zeisloff, a lot of different looks. It's a brilliant play calling when you're watching the different formations.
What do you think, Jeff? If he's a Swiss Army knife, you got a magnifying glass, a toothpick, you got like scissors in there. I mean,
a ruler for us accountants.
Yes, kid's got it all, man. He's got it all.
I'll tell you what was crazy on that last play was Colin Butler there just built a wall for Zeisloff to cut it back and pick up 5 more. 1st and 10, now Decker under center. Handoff Fuller. And, at this point, like I said, it's just that never-ending inning, Joe.
Yep. They're going to continue to run that front, and the stubbornness of staying in the 3-5 is costing them, and they're just going to run right at them. And I tell you what, with keeping a couple of those offensive linemen free, they can get out to that next level, and Jeff makes a good point about Butler just walling guys off.
Yeah. Well, he's got a motor, man.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player. I think he's a MAC kid too, Jake. Another kid that we've seen, that we've identified, that's been so dominant.
2nd down and 5 now from the East Noble 22-yard line. We're trying to get somebody else a touchdown, not named Loeffler. Fuller takes the handoff, and he's just going to grind this one out. He continues to get about 3-4, but we got a flag on the play, and I don't know if that had to do with the offensive lineman there for Leo. Was that Riley Stewart?
Yeah, we'll see what they got here. I think it's going to be a hold. Is it a hold? Yeah, it looks like maybe a hold in the interior play of that. So, yeah, it looked like he held him and then pinned him down, didn't he? I think that was maybe a mercy penalty. It's like, get off me, man. It's just tough because, I like the kids up front for East Noble, but again, you're only 210 and 215 on 2 of your guys up front in that 3-man.
I don't know about that, man. Stewart was just playing snap to whistle there. You like to see that from your offensive lineman.
Yeah. That's a penalty on Friday night, but on Saturday morning, that's what I'm talking about. Man. That's a slap on the back on Saturday morning.
Joe, he's your starting center, and that pancake happened outside of the wing.
I know it did, man. That's 5'11", 220. I tell you what, sometimes those centers that are about 220, 230, 235, sometimes are so effective because they're good athletes and good with the feet. Stewart's had a really good season, and you look at this offensive line. Wirtz and Butler are seniors, but the 2 Jacobs and Stewart are coming back next year.
2nd down and 14.
I run the ball again.
So this is kind of that pistol I formation that you were talking about. Is that right, Jake?
Yep, so pistol wing, and then when he goes under center, we're back in power I.
Mons. Lead blocking from Fuller. Nice hesitation.
Beautiful patience in the
Look at Fuller breaking tackles out at the 10. Gain of 21 yards.
How good is he?
Oh, man.
Patience in the hole, and then bounces it out. They slam the ball again. And, boy, that side with the Jacobs and Stewart's tough. Watch this again. They run it to the left. Look at the lead block there. He gets on the block. Look at that. Shakes down the tackle. And look at the patience. Get off me. Woo! Gets down the field. Nice. Oh, man, I tell you. It's a mauling tonight, man.
Well, Jake's right, too. And this reminds you of the old Bishop Dwenger days,
It
that
does.
power eye football.
Yeah, it sure does.
And I'll tell you what, you want a fullback like Aiden Mons. Mons actually lined up over the guard. Fuller.
Yeah, that's all day long on that scheme. That's all day long, man. Unbelievable, man.
Well, and yesterday, Courtney and them, they were talking about the Wilsons. Vern Wilson was our fullback. Bobe was the tailback. And guess who got to go against them every day in practice? Jeepers,
man. You imagine that in practice?
No, I can't.
Yeah, 235 and 240.
Games are easier on Friday night than practice, right? Look at that. They're going to play a 3-5 again. I watch they're going to run the ball right at them again. Here's your pistol, Jake.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. 35-13 is your score as the handoff goes to Mons. He'll roll forward to about the 11.
So now you have to wonder next week for Leo, as I understand, Sharon's starting to run again and feel good again. So I wonder if they'll have that big body next week, too. I think Leo's finally the healthiest they've been all season long, too. And Jeff's right. Leo's peaking at the right time. Boy, that's sheepdog next week.
Sharon, just a junior.
Yeah, Sharon's big and strong kid.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 12. They'll motion back, handoff to Fuller, trying to get out wide, breaks the tackle. And, man, when things just aren't going your way, they're just not going your way. That was great pursuit into the backfield by number 10, Keegan Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin did a good job, but you got to hit low. You got to break it down, make that tackle, because these backs are too good. Jeff, they're just going to throw you off.
These guys for sure are feeling it tonight.
Yeah, big time, man. Big time. Great performance by Leo. Boy, we had Leo twice this year. I know, Jake, you had him a third time, but, man, they seem to always suck it up and play when Jeff and Summit City Sports comes out, man.
So on 3rd down and 5. From the 9, Decker under center. Fakes the handoff, rolling to his right, looking in the end zone. Got Brock shot, his 2nd touchdown of the game. That was too easy.
Wow. Play actions there. Take that, East Noble. Ooh. Wow, take that, East Noble. That's not going to go over real well, but you know what? That's a great play call.
Man.
I mean, it's the defense's responsibility, as Jeff always says, to stop it, right? Oh, man.
You got to practice that stuff. You got a big game next week.
You're right, Jeff.
You got a big game.
Sucks them in and hits them with the play action, man. Brock's shot's just been tremendous tonight. Wow.
You're right, Joe. Defensively, offensively.
Man. I mean, you can drive the bus home tonight, Brock can. I tell you what, man. Wow.
Because one of the things we really don't talk about him is his blocking, too. I mean,
yeah. He's a
see if I can pull up the stats here for this Leo's offensive team performance. 306 yards on 38 carries for the Lions. 38 carries, 144 yards for the Knights.
Wow. You're right, Jeff, the blocking, man. He can do it all. Power 5 kid, man.
I think you're right.
He is, and it's a kid that Indiana and Purdue should begin to get on. You know what I mean? Get on early, It's a kid that's only a sophomore when he puts the time on the weights. And now picture Brock shot at about 225 or 230, okay? I mean, he's fantastic. And he's a kid that if you get on him early, if you're IU or Purdue, you can hit with him on, I like him at tight end or an H-back, but you could also maybe hit with him on defense. I mean, it's a kid who is going to excel in your program either way. These are the kids you want to identify when they're young. I feel the same way about Jimmy Sullivan with IU, Identify a couple of these kids and get on them early.
I'll tell you what, with his speed and athleticism, he could maybe even turn into one of those outside backers / rush end types.
So if you got him and you maybe missed on tight end, which I don't think you would, you could put him over on defense. That's what Lou Holtz used to do. He would steal all the offensive players and put them on defense, But you're right, Jeff. Tremendous high school prospect.
They'll squib it again. So that's going to get to the back row. Marcel's picking it up off the turf and takes it to about the 29.
Special teams, man. You've seen it all tonight, man.
That's a complete football team, man.
That's a complete football team. And that's a team that's embraced the schemes, Jeff, have really learned the schemes of the new coaching staff. And that's tough on a first-year program when you change everything so drastically to roll out of here and head to a sectional championship and be 8-3.
Yeah, Jake noticed that early on in the season, and boy, you hear old NFL quarterbacks talk about it all the time. When you jump around from team to team, you have different offensive coordinators and different systems.
It's tough, man.
Holy moly.
And I like the young players East Noble has. It'll be interesting to see how East Noble responds and how they can get better next year. But I tell you what, man, and that Baker tonight, man, I'm loving on him when I get back on the bus. As we head back to Grable, I'm loving on Drew Baker. That's the first guy I go hug if I'm Coach Z. Shot and Baker, I'm saying, I see you, dog. That's how you play linebacker, man. And I tell you what, the ability to blitz those backers, guys.
How about Riley Biddle, freshman quarterback in there?
Yeah.
Some good experience, getting some time underneath the Friday night lights. And East Noble's young out there, and they're going to let this play clock go all the way down to 3. And they'll hand it off to the young running back. See if we can grab a number. That's number 3 for East Noble, Dallas Plattner. Plattner, a sophomore at 5'7", 160.
Yeah, some guys getting in the game, getting some good experience. So now it's third down. I'd let them throw one here now, you know. I'd run one more play and let them throw it here, Jake.
Yeah, let them sling one down the field once.
Why
not?
It, man. Get a little experience here, man.
Well, third down and 10. Biddle, the young freshman, They're going to hand it off one more time. Looks like that same play that Mosley ran time and time again. So Leo's going to get the win, 42-13. And it sounds like the Lions are going to be traveling over to Columbia City for a sectional championship. Woo! I'll tell you what, guys, can Leo win that game?
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but yeah, they can. That's going to be a marquee matchup, Jeff. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that was good as Leo can play, I think. That's going to be Sheepdog Bowl number 2, but I agree. Don't you think, Jeff? I'm totally impressed with Leo, with the offensive play calling by Coach Dorfler, and then Johnny Z in the defense. That was a great performance.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some really good sectional championship games next week. We'll get out to as many as possible for the fans. I know, looks like Norwell will probably be traveling to Yorktown. Did we get finals on that one?
Yeah, let's see here. Last report we had.
It's going to be Northside and Snyder that we know.
Yep, because North was up 28-9. Snyder was rolling. It's going to be Northside and Snyder. Yorktown was 15-6 last report. Norwell was rolling Concordia, so probably going to be Norwell and Yorktown. It's going to be Eastside and Bishop Lures over at Eastside. How about that one? Looks like Carroll. I haven't seen anything on Warsaw and Elkhart, but Carroll's going to look like maybe beat Penn, so we'll have to check the Warsaw score. But
Warsaw was down 9-7 just recently, but I didn't see a final yet.
Yep. And then Columbia City obviously rolled DeKalb. Homestead was down 21-0 last report we had. And Fishers rolled Northrop, so it's going to probably be Fishers hosting Hamilton Southeastern next week. If Elkhart wins, Carroll will be on the road again against Elkhart. If Warsaw would happen to win, Carroll would host Warsaw. So, man, a lot of good matchups. AC rolled again. I don't know what they're going to put in front of them.
Well, that'll do it here from East Noble, folks. Once again, Leo wins it 42-13. Max Leffler, your player of the game, 24 carries, 219 yards, averaging 9.1 yards per carry with 3 touchdowns. We had Pat Reith on camera, the best in the business. Jake Smith, Joe Walburn, I'm Jeff Mahoney. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for putting up for our internet outages. Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260s dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then, too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier, too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with gym rats basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November in addition to the club training he was doing because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcast. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a